Yeah.
All junior motorsports front row. We talked about it. Quapple outside, Byron inside. We are racing at Kansas.
Well, the guy that was ready was Cory Day.
Yeah.
Big shot to the back of the one car, trying to get him out in front.
It was an awkward start all around. A couple cars getting into each other. You got 3 wide back there.
Well, that's Brent Cruz.
Oh, yeah, he's going
and that
back
bright
fast.
green-blue machine. First ever start on a 1.5 miles, trying to gather it up.
Well, in Brent Cruz's defense, he's
4
never
wide.
never run on that, right? I mean, you got to kind of feel it out. As you see, he is in the nest right now of all those drivers, trying to get a good feel for his car. Where's the grip level at right now?
Well, and they're playing games with us again. The 2 Hendrick cars are up front, but that is Cory Day, the young driver from California that jumps to P1, leads the opening lap. Byron side by side for second. Josh Balicki out of line.
Oh, and that's going to burn up a valuable set of tires.
Still green, just hold the brake.
Oh, and finally we get the caution, and upside down is Carson Quapple.
Oh.
Barrel rolling down the back straightaway.
Oh, my goodness.
How in the world? Oh.
99 is Parker Retzloff pulling down the pit lane.
See heavy damage to the front of that 99 car. It all started with, we saw Balicki get sideways down in turns 1 and 2, which is initially what we thought brought out this caution.
That was far behind.
Way
where
behind
Quapple
those
was,
guys, yeah.
And Retzloff. So they're going to flip this car over.
Red flag is out.
Procedure.
2 laps in. AMR safety team is there. These safety crews work really hard to handle these situations. Anytime a car gets upside down, very delicate for them in the way they manage turning this car back over with the driver strapped inside.
Gosh, you got to think that car rolled numerous times as we got on that. Ever been in that situation? Have you had that,
yes.
Parker? Yeah,
Yep.
it's one of those, you close your eyes as a driver and just wait for it to be over, and what seems like, you know, what we see live 4 or 5 seconds feels like 4 or 5 minutes inside of the car, because you just don't know where the next hit's going to come from. What you really pray for is for it to land on all 4 tires so you can get out. It's so awkward for the drivers to try to get out in this position. It's tough anyway, you know, with all the gear on.
And they won't want you to do that. If you know, when they get in there, they're going to make sure you're okay and then take this time to flip the car over, because it's incredibly difficult to get out, as you mentioned, in this position. If you drop away from the seat.
But yeah, when you undo the belts,
you want to stay strapped in.
Yeah.
Right.
And while you obviously want to get the car reset as quickly as you can, because there's a driver inside, you want to be very delicate in how you manage that for the driver's safety. And, you know, these safety crews rehearse this, so they are prepared for these very situations and to make sure that they are in a good spot to handle it the right way.
Yeah, and the fear as a driver when this is going on too is fire. Like if this lands upside down, or smoke. And fortunately in this situation, we didn't see either of those, and that safety crews are all there in this moment. There we go.
That's a 3,400-pound car you're trying to let down as easily and slowly as possible.
Starting to see some movement inside the race car. Great sign. You never want to speculate in these situations. And you saw the AMR safety team, you know, laying down on the asphalt and communicating with Carson inside the car. And we hadn't heard anything on the radio. But you can see he's already got the helmet off, and we're happy to see him moving around.
Yeah, he had unbuckled everything but the seat belts in the car, got his helmet off. Hans,
great,
you know,
to see.
unhooked. Yeah, gloves off. That's great to see him getting out. Can't wait to look back and see exactly what caused all this.
And we were monitoring the radio and hadn't heard anything, but a lot of times when you have flips like that, the radio is sitting in the inside pocket, it gets dislodged, destroyed, and so the team couldn't even talk to him. Let's take a look back.
See, is that Allgaier to his outside? You see William Byron to his inside right here. Oh, he just got a little loose. Oh, it's just the contact with the outside wall, and then Retzloff hit him in the rear, and man, you just don't see that very often at a track of this size, but get a little bit of air under the car, and then you're just along for the ride as those tires start to bite. That's what creates the roll.
And you see all the flaps that deploy there to try and keep that car on the ground, but when he gets hit by Retzloff there at that angle, the air gets underneath and sort of isn't able to, the flaps are not able to help, right? Once that air gets underneath, that's a 3,400-pound car that just suddenly flips up, into the air and it looks almost weightless in some respects.
I will say, though, how fortunate we are in this situation, that after he got turned upside down and began the roll, that he wasn't contacted by anyone else, because so many times, especially when you're this, close to the restart, traffic is there and drivers simply have nowhere to go. Luckily, no one else hit him when he was flipping and rolling down the back straightaway.
The scariest part of what he went through is that when you get turned sideways and you saw the contact from Retzloff, is that you lose all controls of the car. The brake pedal no longer works, the steering wheel no longer works, and as a driver, you want to have those controls to control your own destiny, and you don't have that. And I will tell you that when it goes up in the air, it gets quiet. And as I said, what took 4 or 5 seconds for us to watch live on TV feels like an eternity inside the car, and it's a scary feeling for fire, for smoke. Am I going to get trapped? Like what's going to happen? The car's full of fuel right now as well. We just started this race, so the fuel cell is packed, and you're helpless inside of the car. It's one of the scariest feelings you're going to have.
And a lot of times in that moment, you're grabbing your belts and you're just getting as small as you possibly can and trying to just have all the hits happen and hope they're as soft as can be.
And sometimes when you see those, there's his dad, Travis. How scary is that to watch your kid be out? Travis has been through it all, but to sit and watch that, I can tell you, I have a kid that races, and it just doesn't get any scarier than that.
And it's rare that we see a car get upside down. And we
Especially
don't see
here.
that.
Yeah, Daytona, right. Talladega, yeah. I feel like we've grown to, you get used to it there. You know that can happen and does every once in a while, but you just don't expect that here. But it's all about the contact of the wall, and then that contact in the left rear from Parker Retzloff, the timing of that, the air getting under the car. It's a perfect scenario that has to happen.
Scary, scary crash. Lap 2 at Kansas for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Little contact, William Byron into Carson Kvapil. Retzloff hits the 1, and Kvapil goes for a ride. Red flag is out. Kvapil had climbed from the car and walked to the ambulance. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. The Credit One Bank NASCAR American Express card. And by Progressive Insurance. Get in the savings lane today. Visit progressive.com. Beautiful evening in Kansas City, Kansas, as the sun goes down. Barely got started with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and a very scary crash coming off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Carson Quapple's car's being taken back to the garage. He flipped, barrel rolls coming off the corner, and you know the first thing we saw was this: Josh Bilicki in the 07.
Yeah, he's gonna come down into Luke Baldwin there. The 5, just an awkward angle into the corner, into turn 1. He spins, and at the same time that this was happening, Carson Quapple was flipping down the backstretch.
This is a look from Sheldon Creed, who had to start in the rear. He's going to see this first wreck of Bilicki and do the slow slide. You see he gets slowed down. Little does he know that just up ahead, you hear a spotter still walking him through that.
You're good, one lane up.
Gosh, and he's going to get up here and see Carson Quapple just barrel rolling down the backstretch.
These last hits, these are some of the most vicious.
The problem
the
is
suspension is gone there, and
you don't know where the impact's going to come from. Right? You're flipping, and it's like your eyes are closed and you're getting punched in the face. You just don't know if it's coming from the left or the right. And if you can brace for it, if you're going to hit the wall like from a blown tire, you brace a little bit. You know when that impact's going to happen. When you're flipping like that, you don't.
William Byron right there when all this began. Let's get a little 88 radio.
Sorry about that. I knew we were 3 wide lane, but I was already coming off the corner. Knew you said 3 wide. I just was already cutting my trajectory up. The 7 got to him late, and then he left the lane and kind of gave him the lane. So I got him.
Well, I mean, this is why we love Kansas, is because of all the options. You see Allgaier has this massive run on the outside. The 88 does come up a little bit more than what he needs to right there. He should have left Carson just a little bit more room, but Carson also, if the 7's on his outside, probably slides up just a little bit more. It's all about, you know, I mean, at this track, those gaps on the outside, the holes get filled super quick.
And you can see it right there. Carson adjusts. He
almost reacted to it.
Well, he reacts to the 7 of Allgaier on the outside at the same time William Byron was coming up the track, and the two just meet at the wrong place and the wrong time.
Yeah, there's a lot of accidents you can blame on someone, but this is just a racing deal.
100%.
You mentioned it. That was a great angle right there. You could see of the 1 starting to turn down because he knows the 7 is going to be on his outside. Allgaier has that big run. You see right there.
Just the 1 sort of goes to the left just a little bit because he's almost caught off guard by the 7 of Allgaier at the same time that William Byron was sort of releasing the wheel and just letting that car naturally exit the corner. Man, vicious hits.
Again, if you're just tuning in, Carson did climb from the race car, walk to the ambulance under his own power. He'll go to the infield care center to be evaluated there. Cory Day able to jump into the race lead. Boy, was he productive in that opening lap. Talk about how good he's been on the 1.5 miles, and a good start to the race for him. He's leading.
And Cory was aggressive from the get-go. They threw the green flag. He was giving a massive shove to the car in front of him. Front row on the outside of the 1 of Carson Quapple. And, you know, Parker, you talked about him being a guy to watch. I think back to Vegas. We saw him have all these top 10 runs, and then we get to Vegas and he leads late, and we're all like, it's going to be his day. Like he's just, he and Adam Wall have done a great job of getting that car better throughout the race. I think he's done an exceptional job this year. We'll take a look back here at the start of the race.
Yeah, you mentioned him being aggressive. He was right in the rear bumper of Quapple as they got into the restart zone. And you're going to see that 17 just go to the outside. That's where everyone in Cup qualifying was up there. Gets to the outside, his right rear, has a huge amount of momentum and clears both him and William Byron to take the lead. The outside can work for you here at Kansas, especially on the restarts, but you're almost betting on having that momentum on the exit. He definitely had that.
Red flag was 12 minutes and 9 seconds. Let's hear from Carson Quapple down to Dillon.
Yeah, he is out of the infield care center, says he's okay. What did that feel like or sound like? I mean, what was that moment like for you when that all unfolded?
Not too fun. I actually didn't think it was going to flip over like that, but once I started doing that, it didn't really seem too bad. My biggest thing is I just hate it for this whole #1 Bass Pro Shops team. Rodney and these guys, they brought a really fast race car, and it was just hoping to get through the first couple laps and kind of sort it out and kind of fall in line, right? And we didn't really get to that point, but all in all, it was a one heck of a ride. I was not ready for that, but just hate it for all the guys again, and everyone at the Junior Motorsports Race Shop, Hendrick Motors, everybody in the Fab Shop. That was a pretty big one, so really hate it for all of them.
Did you feel like that everybody was giving each other enough room there at that point in the race?
I mean, I feel like yes and no, right? I thought we were all pretty aggressive to start, and thought the 17 was going to stay behind me probably, but it seemed like the top really had some good grip, and I was just trying to get through the first lap or two. Honestly, I was probably going to move up the next corner to get up and block runs, but the 7th got outside of me there off of 2, and I guess the 88 didn't realize we were 3 wide or got me there. It was hard to tell, so just got tight and didn't work out.
Thanks, Carson. Glad you're okay.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, guys, if you're watching at home, there was no practice and qualifying yesterday. So these are the first laps these guys have run on the track since we've been to Kansas Speedway. And without a doubt, when you start practice, sometimes the splitter can be a little low, a little high. Some cars are going to have more grip, have less grip. There was no qualifying, so you've got different cars, maybe in a position that they wouldn't be typically at the start of the race.
Let's go back down to Dillon.
Yeah, Parker Retzloff was the other car that just was kind of a victim of circumstance there throughout that whole thing. What did you see, and did you have any time to react at all?
No, I didn't really have any time to react about it. I don't know, just very aggressive start that just, I guess, caused a wreck that really wasn't necessary to happen that early in the race. We knew we had a comp caution and 20 laps into the race, and we wrecked basically 2 or 3 good cars just, I guess, coming up and just causing a big wreck, and just glad Carson's okay. I mean, that's a wild ride down the backstretch, and I didn't, I tried to get slowed down, just couldn't get slowed down enough. Just more, upset for all the guys on the Viking Motorsports number 99 Gem Oro car. This weekend, I thought we had a really good car. We moved up there early and just, just get damage and knock all the oil pressure out of it. So overall, just a, guess bad weekend, and we'll come back next week and try and be strong again.
Now we're ready for the restart here. Corey Day takes the outside lane, Allgaier to his left. Row 2, Byron Taylor Gray.
Corey Day, great start.
Yeah, super good launch. Again, on the outside, those tires only had a couple of laps on them, but good launch. And you mentioned it, you get on the outside, you have that momentum, but you got to make sure you get them cleared off turn 2, or you might not be in the preferred position.
And look at our bumper, those drivers highlighted in green. Eligible for the Dash for Cash, going for $100,000. One of those, Carson Quapple, obviously out of the race. Big move here for Jesse Love, swinging down to the bottom of the racetrack in the
Threw it to the bottom there. Now to the inside of William Byron, 3 wide off the corner. He was going for 3 or 4 cars in one corner there for Jesse Love.
39, Ryan Sieg started outside the top 10. So did Brandon Jones, and they're already working on spots inside the top 5. What a start to the race for that duo.
Gosh, look at those front 2, though. They've already trended all the way to the top. We saw Cup practice and qualifying. That's where everybody migrated to. Instantly here, we're 6 laps into the race, 3 or 4 green laps, already all the way up against the top.
And I think this answers a question for us as we look at last year's race. The top didn't really work in the O'Reilly Series, but with these cooler temps, possibly going to be the coldest Kansas O'Reilly race ever, I felt like that top might be coming in, and sure enough, we're seeing it right now, immediately to the top.
But that could change. As the sun goes down, the grip level will continue to go up. Does the bottom gain enough grip that you just don't need that distance around the top? Time's gonna tell.
I see that paint scheme riding the wall, and immediately I think of Larson. It's the other California native sprint car driver, Corey Day, who's not afraid to put it on the high side in the 17 here in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. You heard Parker Retzloff say it, and you guys have talked about, we've addressed no practice, no qualifying. Competition caution comes right around lap 20. That's still scheduled, even though we had the early caution and red flag. So another 10, 12 laps, we'll see a caution, and likely everybody will come down and get a set of tires.
And it's such a shame for Parker Retzloff and that Viking Motorsports team. They've had such a great start to the season, doing really big things. That new RCR Alliance got a shout out from Denny Hamlin on Actions Detrimental this week about how well he's doing. So just not the race they were looking for with so much confidence, that race team.
Well, both he and Carson come in top 10 in points. Carson eligible for the Dash for Cash. So two really good players with a lot on the line that are done early. And Sam Mayer, qualified 19th, drives around William Byron for 7th. 41 has got it wound up.
Yeah, and the other guy that we were just riding on board with, Brandon Jones, 3-time winner here at Kansas Speedway. We saw he started 15th, has worked his way up into the top 5 already, just 10 laps in.
Good night to be driving for the Haas factory team. We look at our Powerball power movers. We mentioned Mayer plus 12. Creed, his teammate, plus 16 after dropping to the rear. They had those inspection issues. The O'Reilly Auto Parts onboard camera, O'Reilly Auto Parts, I'll say it correctly here, really got some speed in the early going, riding with Creed.
Yeah, and the caution coming out right away gave Sheldon a couple opportunities at restarts, and that's when you're going to make the most hay, especially starting in the very back of the field. He probably threw it up on the top, went on the bottom, wherever they weren't. That car has a lot of speed built into it. As you see Brandon Jones with the Toyota Racing onboard camera right here, he loves this racetrack and is able to find grip. You see Sieg running that top. He wasn't able to get the momentum he needed on the exit. Going to go back and
he'll go to the top.
Start trying to work this a little bit higher than what Sieg was. Look at the momentum he's about to have here. If this works out correctly, he might get right to that rear bumper of Sieg down the straightaway. You just see the difference that you have using the extra banking that's up towards the top. Remember, this is a progressive banked racetrack. It just has that grip. It's a longer distance, but when it works, you have a tremendous amount of momentum. And what he'll do here, you see he tries to turn down. Sieg not able to find the speed he needs. Almost got a little tight right there on exit. Brandon's not going to have him cleared. And he'll go back and run he wants down here in 3 and 4. It looks like he likes the middle maybe a little bit better. Oh, there's a lot of throttle right there. You heard him roll out and roll right back into it. Massively high speeds here at Kansas Speedway. You see exit in the corner, 175 miles per hour.
And a lot of that is the cooler temperatures. There's just a tremendous amount of grip that we're not used to having here at Kansas, especially these O'Reilly Series cars. That's why you're in the throttle as much as they are. There is a lot of tire fall off here. Last year was about a 2nd in 10 laps. I expect that to be similar here today, but definitely a lot of grip in this racetrack.
Sheldon Creed up to 17th. Also see the 0 Cole Custer driving through the field. 24 Harrison Burton there. 4 career victories, 2 have come on 1.5-mile tracks, and the driver that was so slow out of the gates for Sam Hunt Racing in 2026 has been top 20 the last couple of weeks. Anthony Alfredo in that mix as well. 2nd driver for Viking Motorsports. His teammate is out. We heard from Parker Retzloff, but the 96 tried to do something early. He's back in 21st.
Yeah, and the other driver there, Cole Custer, we heard maybe some power steering issues. He came back down pit road, had to start in the back. But that car seems to be good right now for Coles. We see a battle for 3rd. Brandon Jones.
He's flying.
He is flying.
This place has been all about Joe Gibbs Racing. Teammates going at it here. Jones around Taylor Gray. I mentioned the success for Jones, but overall, 14 wins here, 14 of the last 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing at Kansas Speedway. And give a nod to Jesse Love, who's been outstanding on the 1.5 in his career, in particular here at Kansas, reigning champ up to 5th as he sneaks to the inside of Ryan Sieg.
That was Parker's pick for the race. He felt pretty good.
As soon as I said he's up to 5th, that chest went out over there on the other side of the booth.
Well, I hate to burst Parker's bubble, but Carla's pick and my pick are both in front of his pick right now. So
give it time. It's early. There was no qualifying, all right?
I picked Cory Day. Yeah.
You didn't get a pick.
But actually, to that point, when there isn't qualifying, you know, that's what's also interesting about these races when you just jump into it, because it's kind of jumbled up a little bit, right? You don't have the natural cadence of who was fast in practice, then qualifying well. You have cars higher up in the field than they probably have naturally speed-wise, and so you get a lot of interchange here in these first few laps. Ooh, Jeremy Clements got very loose.
Look out. Jeremy Clements there, off to a good start, up in the 12th position, 15th last week, and I hesitate to say too much about him because I talked him up at Rockingham, and then he went for a ride.
Oh, no.
How close to the wall can you get?
That's fine.
You can do that all race long. Yeah, Cory, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
It's not hitting the wall. It's just a little kiss.
Yeah. That's perfect.
You know, when I think about Cory Day, though, the one thing we've talked about so much is his ability to learn stage 1 and stage 2 in these races. He's not learning anymore. He's going out leading laps now, won both stages at Rockingham, but he's got his hands full right now, and he's racing one of the best in Justin Allgaier.
Well, as I say, you better talk about Cory Day quick.
Yeah.
Because my pick to win is all over him. Justin Allgaier, who's been exceptional on mile-and-a-half racetracks for the last 3 or 4 years. Junior Motorsports has been good here, about 3/10 quicker the last 2 laps to Cory Day. He'll now have to try to set him up, see if he can get by him on the inside.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how he does that. With Cory running the outside, it means he's going to have to go to the inside. We saw Brendan Jones doing that so well for a couple of his passes, but at the front of the field with Cory Day having that clean air, it's going to take a monster run for Allgaier, and then you're going to have to side draft and sort of shortcut the track and use some of that slide job we see if you're going to get ahead of Cory, because this is a hard pass to make when Cory's run the outside so well.
Well, and if you watch, Cory's actually turning down off the wall about halfway around the corner. I saw him do the same thing in turns 1 and 2. It tells me that car's probably not turning good enough on exit. The balance may be just a little tight, because ideally the quickest line around here is to enter really high, like you see him right here, and then ride the wall almost all the way around the corner. You can venture off just a little bit, but as you see the 7 get that little bit of a run down through the middle.
I was going to say it. It's coming. You want to hang on.
I was having so much fun.
We're going to get the comp caution, and you want to be in control of this race. So the Whelen caution lights are on for a second time tonight. The first one for the incident on lap 2. And now we get the comp caution because we didn't have practice in qualifying yesterday. Want to give everybody a chance to reset here, come down and get a set of tires. Now here's the deal. Because there was no practice, you have an extra set. NASCAR allows all these teams to carry that set. Basically the set you'll put on here, and then you'll have 4 sets of stickers, tires laying in the pit area for the balance of the race. You know, if there's anyone who knows the value of a good crew, it's the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's why they want to put the spotlight on the pit crew members that are essential to a race team's success. And tonight we highlight the 20 team for Brandon Jones and Joe Gibbs Racing, led by crew chief Sam McCauley. They've been outstanding this year, and I would go back to this race in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean, he was incredible in that particular event, winning the race off pit road. He was great through a green flag cycle. But if you go back to the last few weeks and look at their execution, in 3 of the last 4 races, they have turned out the best 4-tire stop.
And that started the end of last year as well. This was one of the fastest pit crews on pit road in the O'Reilly Series, and that is such an advantage when you have that in your back pocket. A great pit crew who's super fast, but also is consistently doing that. It's such an amazing feeling to have that.
Jones third as we anticipate pit stops here with this competition caution. The Whelen caution lights, as we said, are on once again, second time tonight. The same Whelen emergency lights and sirens you see on the safety vehicles here at the track are protecting first responders and communities all across America. Drift back through the top 10, mention the fact that Jesse Love was able to get up inside the top 5. Sam Mayer on the move up to 7th. William Byron started on the front row, has fallen back to 8th, but a little damage on the right front when he got into Carson Kvapil. Don't know what that could do to upset the aerodynamics of that car. And I look at Brent Cruz. You know, here's a driver that had never been to a 1.5 miles. You get 20 laps, you get a reset here, and he's running 9th. Just a real positive start, I would say, for him to start understanding what aero is all about at an intermediate.
So impressive, and to think he's never been on a track of this size, not in ARCA, not in trucks, not in the O'Reilly Series, and this is such a different form of racing, these 1.5 miles, in terms of how much aero and how much aero effects there are and how much you have to learn, and drivers spend careers trying to understand the aero effects of these cars and where to place them, and he had just a handful of laps to figure that out and did a great job.
And I saw a lot of maturity out of Brent Cruz at the start of the race. When we went down into turn 1, we were talking about Cory Day taking the lead, but if we watched Brent Cruz, he somewhat babied it in there to make sure he could feel his car out and where it needed to be, didn't overdrive it, and I think that shows a lot of maturity.
No denying his talent, but he's also a student of the game. You used the word maturity, just turned 18 last month, but showing off what a smart guy he is and his ability to adapt on the fly. Progressive Pit Road is open. Here they are, Dylan.
First one to hit his marks is Justin Allgaier, top of the screen, said the balance was pretty good. Told Andrew Overstreet, I don't know what I want you to change. They'll make a small air pressure adjustment just to keep up with the fall off in the cool conditions, Kim.
You see Brandon Jones stop in his box, the middle of your screen. He said, I kept building tight center exit. He said, but I love my entry, so don't hurt that. They'll take tires, fuel, slight air pressure adjustment. Cory Day there at the bottom, fighting tight off. He said, I definitely need more turn, but he said, I was beating my stuff up there running the top. I definitely need to make it live longer.
And now the progressive race off pit road. And look at that. I mean, Brandon Jones just right on cue. +2. Day goes to second. Allgaier lost a couple of spots. And Brent Cruz maintains on track. And the pit crew gets him 4 positions on the pit lane. So Brandon Jones, last year's winner, going to be in charge of the field when we get the restart. And this move was key, winning the race off pit road to get ahead of the curve here at Kansas.
Men.
Test your luck and make your power play by heading to your local lottery retailer to get in the game for tonight's estimated Powerball jackpot of $75 million. And now we listen to Jeb Burton Radio. It's presented by Starkey. Scan the QR code now.
Is it weather in the area? Looks like it's getting dark. Yeah, not supposed to be, but I see it as well, so we'll keep an eye on it.
That's the Midwest. Don't worry about it, Jeb.
This is McMurray country. Please explain it to us.
It always looks like that. It's just a little. Don't worry about that.
There's a little evidence here.
Yeah, I feel
on the
good
radar.
about it. It's not here yet. We're going to be fine.
But that's going to break up.
It's not a day ender. But, you know, McMurray and I know. I mean, we grew up in the Midwest.
We're Midwesterners, yeah.
When you grow up in a small town in Indiana or Missouri and there's a thunderstorm coming, you just go sit on your porch and look out to the west and watch it develop, right?
Entertainment, is it not?
Right. Yeah. Couple of penalties here. 45 LeVar Scott, 32 Raja Caruth over the wall too soon. So they go to the rear for the restart.
Got a new player in the front. Brandon Jones. Going to be fun to see what he's able to do. And, you know, Parker, we noticed, if you pay attention to the racetrack right here, look how clean it is on the bottom and all the rubber you see around the top. Bottom's going to have a ton of grip right here on this restart.
And he chose the outside in his restarts last year. They didn't always work for him.
Hey,
so let's see.
Corey Day gives up the front row to restart in the outside lane. Here they are, Poet restart zone. Jones and Gray on the front row.
Great restart there by Taylor Gray on the bottom. See if he can stay beside Brandon Jones.
Day wants a repeat at the start of the race when he goes to the outside and gets the lead, but it's going to be Brandon Jones in charge.
Look at Allgaier, had a really good run on the bottom. We'll see what he decides to do. See him fanning out. Allgaier able to sail off in there.
We're looking at 3 wide here. Austin Hill driving between the 2 teenagers from Joe Gibbs Racing. Look at Brent Cruz.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the great pit stop, good on the restart. He's 5th in line looking for more. William Sawalich back behind them. Good start to the race for the 18.
Gosh, look at this racetrack. This is why we love coming here. Look at all the option these guys have. 3, 4 wide. Lots of grip all across this track.
And that was a great lesson there for Brent Cruz. He had a bit of momentum. He shot to the inside. That almost didn't work for him. He almost allowed Austin Hill to get to his right rear, which would have sent him backwards. He was able to fend him off, but probably something to put in the notebook that you don't always want to take that run the inside.
2 RCR car together right there. Austin Hill in the 21.
Boy, when Sawalich got up, it felt really tight behind Austin Hill. It worked, but that made me nervous as Jesse Love winds it up outside.
See a few of these guys committed to the bottom. At 17 of Corey Day, though, I saw through turns 1 and 2, committed to running the top. You see Allgaier now venturing up there. Hasn't quite transitioned yet. We see about a second of lap time fall off from start of the run through 10 laps in. More of these lap times fall off, the more you'll see guys start to trend towards the top.
And it goes back to the rubber you pointed out before the restart there. Once the rubber starts to lay down again on that bottom groove and the middle groove, it'll just navigate you towards the top of the racetrack to try and get away from that rubber a little bit as Corey Day sends it down the inside into 3. Not going to quite be able to clear, is he? No, not able to clear Justin Allgaier, so now it's going to be a side draft fest down the front stretch.
Yeah, and these guys are slowing each other down. You know, Adam, you mentioned that stat of how many races Gibbs had won here. I think 14 and 19. 2 Gibbs cars out front right now. Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray. 1 to 2 tenths quicker than these guys running side by side.
Oh, way up next to the wall.
And he slides it out there. Maybe another kiss for the 17. Allgaier back by for 3rd. Here comes Brent Cruz. As those 2 were messing around, Cruz said, okay, I'll come up and join the party.
Yeah, that pass is so hard to make. You saw the momentum that Corey Day had on the outside. And if you're Brent Cruz and you're in that position, 17's been on the top all day long. You're going to have to figure out how to pass him in the middle. It's going to be really hard to get to his outside as we get a look at Corey Day with kiss number 2 for today.
If it wasn't a kiss, the dust was flying out there, that's for sure.
The right rear is getting a bit of a workout, but that happened because he basically punched the throttle there through the center of the corner, just trying to clear the 7, and it worked. But the way turn 2 works at Kansas, it sort of condenses off the corner and gets shorter in radius, and so you have to get the car to turn even extra, and he didn't quite have the racetrack.
13 laps to go in the opening stage. Jones leading Gray, Allgaier, Day, and Brent Cruz at Kansas. You saw it side by side on CW, third caution of the night. Teammates racing for position. Jesse Love, Austin Hill, 21, goes for a slide. 18 of William Sawalich, nowhere to go. This happened with guys racing inside the top 10.
It was the two RCR teammates. It's probably going to lead to a pretty tense Monday morning meeting there at RCR because they were racing pretty hard, but Jesse Love, I believe, was squeezing Austin pretty closely, which is you try to take that right side air off the inside cars. So they go off here into 3 and 4. It's not there, but I believe Jesse starts to get a little lower. Not quite. Right
he
there.
Does right here.
A little bit. That's what I thought I saw. So yeah, he gets down on his right rear and loosens up Austin.
And then Austin was going to be okay, and then Sawalich came through there, got him in the left rear tire. You see the damage it did to the 18. Austin starts to chase that just a little bit as Jesse's getting right on his door. I think I'm going to agree with you.
It's going to be a tense meeting.
That meeting's going to be, why are we doing this 38 laps in?
Think about this, though. I mean, we're still stage 1. We've had 4 drivers that entered top 10 in points that have had a problem. Retzloff and Quapple done for the night. And you think about Austin Hill, this is one of his better tracks. They needed to get things going in the right direction, and now this.
And for William Sawalich, you have a choice to make when you see cars spinning, which is go to the bottom or the top. Made the wrong choice here in terms of going to the bottom.
But Sam Mayer, I mean, watch Mayer. As all this happens, he's able to drive around the outside, and it works out for him.
And one more thing there for Austin Hill, you see he's left sides were on the white line, almost the splitter touches the apron a little bit, and that causes the car to de-wedge and get a little bit looser. But it really was when Jesse got to his right rear and took that air off of him, trying to keep the position, that it was almost an overly aggressive move by his teammate.
Yeah, and when the 18 hit Austin Hill, you saw the left rear tire get shoved in. It spent all that rear suspension. You see that tire sticking out of the right rear. That's going to be really hard to fix. Let's hear what Austin Hill thought about the situation.
I'll remember that. We're done. Something was broken in the left rear.
Yeah, well, when you watch it on TV, you're going to see the same that we did. It looked like you got pinched down a little bit, and it makes it even harder when it is your teammate, especially, Parker, when you come to a track that's as wide as this. A lot of options there.
And there's etiquette to it, right? Amongst us drivers, we all know there's that option to do what Jesse did, which is to get right on the right rear of another driver, take that air off of their spoiler and off the right side, and they'll get looser, and you can usually keep the position. But when you're racing with teammates, it's earlier in the race. There's almost an etiquette to say, hey, I'm not going to be that aggressive right now. We're just figuring our stuff out. It's still early. But that's why, you know, when he references, I'll remember that. That's a move that you think, hey, that was probably too much.
Well, and your teammate, through my years of racing, your teammate was either the easiest guy for you to race or the hardest.
Yeah.
And with these two guys, there's no gives. You see.
Look at this. Pit road's open. I wondered how teams would manage this. And, boy, a good number of cars inside the top 10, a few of them anyway, going to come down, including Jesse Love in a 2. Here's Dylan.
And they, on the first run, were tight mid-center, so Danny Stockman took a round out of the left rear and made an air pressure adjustment just to try to stay ahead of things. That was a positive change. Jesse came on the radio and said the car's better. Just right sides there for the 2 as he tries to merge back into traffic.
All right, so you see him coming off the pit lane there, and Dylan referenced the service. I think it was 2 cars that were inside the top 10 that gave up position to make a pit stop. We'll follow up on where everyone is for the restart to end stage 1. First, let's go to the CW garage in Carla.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, it's been quite the week for the 21 and quite the season so far as they're trying to find some consistency. Austin Hill told me they came into this race trying to look for consistency, trying to find anything. He said, look, it's not a lack of effort by my team. We're trying to find anything that we can to really find something here with this 21 team. Of course, they're not going to get that done today. Currently 6th in the chase standings right now. He said that was kind of a negative, especially because they led in the early weeks of the race, but said, you know, we're not quite where we want to be. They're going to be losing some ground on the chase standings today.
Yeah, no doubt, adverse times. I mean, you look at the last 4 races, one RCR car finished inside the top 10. And, you know, Jesse Love, who came down here and made the pit stop, has not been in the top 10 since he had that comeback at Las Vegas, our last mile-and-a-half race. By the way, we did confirm. I saw Alfredo come down. I thought he had snuck into the top 10. He had not. So the only driver that was actually in the top 10 to give up position and come down and get service was Jesse Love.
Gonna be a long rest of the race for the 18, the Swallows. Yeah. He's still be out there, but massive damage to the front of that car.
What a crazy start to this race. We knew no practice, no qualifying, cold temps, heading into the nighttime for the first time in a long time at this racetrack.
Do the choose here with 4 to go in the stage. So you'll get the restart with 3. Well executed by NASCAR to get everything where it needed to be. Open the pit lane, get a little restart, and fun little run to the green and white checkered flag to end stage 1.
Yeah, and you see Brandon Jones chose the outside again. These are some of the most challenging restarts these drivers are going to have with the older tires. Kansas, it's a great surface because it wears tires out, but just trying to get the momentum going on the restart, it's so hard. We see so many people spin the tires here, and you have to be very disciplined as a driver to get that momentum and not have wheel spin.
And if you're further back in the top 10 and outside the top 10, you got to be really eyes up in terms of checkups, because when guys start spinning tires, there's awkward checkups of the accordion effect, and you can smash up the front of a race car really easily.
Look who's back there in row 4. Sheldon Creed starts in the back, had the inspection problems. They've been helped with some attrition, but he's driven his way into the top 10 and in position to get stage points. Really was outstanding in the stage point category last Saturday night in Bristol, Tennessee.
Well, he's been as consistent as the 17 of Cory Day. You know, those guys top 5, top 10 every single week on the 00.
Incredible start to the year for both those drivers. All right, front row, Jones and Gray, Allgaier and Day, row 2. 3 laps to settle it in stage 1. Here they come to the Poet restart zone. Brandon Jones controls from the outside.
Good start by both of those guys, both Gray and Brandon Jones. You see them getting locked together.
Great job by the whole field there. No real checkups or spinning the tires. You see some of those newer tires like Jesse Love making big moves towards the back there. He might actually get back to the top 10.
Brandon Jones so fast through the middle of turns 1 and 2, was able to get clear outside of Taylor Gray. Taylor moved up and decided to run the middle. Look at that, a little further back, you see him 4 wide.
Big wiggle for Cory Day there on the bottom. Just got up to the left rear.
No, 3 wide.
3 wide. This is for second, right down the boulevard. Justin Allgaier between Day and Gray going for second.
Allgaier in a great position right here. You can see that 17 all yawed out on the bottom of Cory Day as Allgaier has to check up.
It's deja vu for Cory Day and Justin Allgaier once again down into one side by side, and Cory trying to clear him the exit. A lot cleaner this time, got away with it. Big wiggle there for Taylor Gray.
Hey, Love got those tires, got 2 tires, and driving through the field, you wonder, could he take the other 2 when they pit at the end of the stage and help their track position to begin stage number 2? Either way, he's driving up through to get some stage points. Alfredo made a pit stop. He too is driving through the field, riding with Sheldon Creed, who's 7th on the board.
He did put those tires on, guys, but the net gain is not going to be that much. He was 5th or 6th just before that. It's like he's going to be 3rd or 4th, maybe 3rd at best right here.
Brandon Jones leading laps here at Kansas for the 5th consecutive race, and he's going to lead lap 45, which gets him the green and white checkered flag and the victory in stage number 1. Day was 2nd, Allgaier 3rd. How about Allgaier? Top 5 stage this year, but 1, and he stays perfect when it comes to scoring stage points. Love finishes 4th. Alfredo was 5th on those fresh tires. It was an eventful stage 1 in Kansas, and the winner is Brandon Jones. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. Progressive Insurance. Get in the savings lane today. Visit progressive.com. And by Experian. Download the free app now. Stage 1 done in Kansas for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. This stage break brought to you by Arby's. I'm really curious to see what happens here from a strategy perspective. For the guys that made pit stops there, Jesse Love took 2. Do they come and get the other 2? For the drivers that came and got 4, do they stay out? Do they come and pit again and save those scuffs for later? I mean, there's a whole lot of questions to be answered here. What we do know is those drivers that finished at the front and have not yet pitted, they will come here to get 4 tires.
Yeah, and for those that may stay out from taking those 4 on that last caution before the stage end, you know, this could be the shortest run of the race in this next stage, essentially. So you have that, that's why they took that option most likely. So we'll see if they stick with that. You get the extra track position. You probably expect you'll lose some of those positions, but it could be a net gain.
The best of the drivers that pitted and took 4 tires there, Anthony Alfredo, who is 5th. So if he stays out, because we anticipate Love, who came and got the 2 tires, is going to come back and get the left sides after taking the rights. Anthony Alfredo could be the guy in charge when we get going in stage 2. We'll see what they all do here, though. Progressive pit road is open. Alfredo does stay out. Jones and others making pit stops, Dylan.
And Allgaier has fired off tight both of the last couple of runs and said that as he does continue to get tight, the more rear lateral he loses, so they'll go up around on the track bar, 4 tires and fuel for the 7.
For Brandon Jones, that bright yellow 20 car, he said overall neutral, but did chatter the tires and got tight with that refire. No major adjustments. They'll take tires, put fuel in that machine. You see Cory Day, bottom of your screen, he said it feels fine. Maybe just a little dirty air is causing a slight handling issue. We'll take a chassis adjustment you see right there, as well as air pressure on the 17.
Jesse Love wins the race off Progressive Pit Road because they only took 2 tires here after taking 2 at lap 40. So he goes +3. That's the good news. The bad news is those drivers that pitted with him at lap 40 and got 4 tires stay out here flipping the stage. He'll be behind them on the restart. 9 cars in all stay out, and they had all taken 4 tires at lap 40. Look at this, tight coming off the pit lane at Kansas.
back at Kansas and awaiting the start of stage 2. Austin Hill has been checked and released from the infield care center. We heard the radio, said you'll remember that with the 2 car, but what are your thoughts on how you were raced and ultimately the end result?
Well, I didn't see the replay until just now, and I could only go off at the time what my spotter, Derek Nealon, was telling me. And, you know, at first he was like, all right, he's tight on your door, but you still have air. And then coming off a 4, watching the replay back, I mean, he just turned left and put it right on my door. I don't know anyone that can save a car when they don't have any air on their right rear. So these aren't cup cars. I'm not sure. You know, he was going to have the run down the front stretch anyways, being on the outside lane like he was. And we could have just raced it out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of dumbfounded a little bit with how that just all transpired. I mean, I thought we were racing each other really well. And it's a bummer for our Bennett Chevrolet because we've needed to bounce back. We've been so bad these last several weeks. And I thought Kansas was a place that we could go up there and run inside the top 5 and have a shot at the win, and it looked like it could have been that. We were probably 1 or 2 adjustments away of being really good. So just unfortunate, especially when you have a run-in with your teammate. Out of everybody on the racetrack, I would expect a little more room out of the 2 car than the rest of the field. But oh well, we'll go to Talladega, we'll work together as teammates, go try to win that one, and go from there. It's all good.
Thanks, Austin.
Well, we said it. I mean, your teammate's either the easiest guy to race or the hardest, and I agree 100% with what Austin Hill said there. I mean, Jesse needed to give him just a little bit more room. I thought etiquette was a great way of explaining that. If it was coming down to the last lap of a stage, if it was the last lap of the race, you expect that to happen, but 38 laps in, you expect a little bit of room, and Jesse would expect the same thing in return.
And what Austin said there, where he's like, Jesse would have had the run anyway. Being on the outside, that's what made it such a perplexing move, that he would get onto his door like that, and obviously it resulted in Austin spinning out.
Getting ready for the restart in stage 2. First 8 cars pitted at lap 40 and got 4 tires. They stayed out when the stage wrapped in stage 1. Jesse Love got those 2 tires. He's restarting 9th. Brandon Jones restarts from 10th, won the race off pit road, and they were dancing through the Poet restart zone.
It was a big checkup on the outside lane there. It was like Alfredo didn't quite get going when everyone expected it. Harrison Burton had a big checkup and it accordion through the whole backside of the field. You saw cars getting out of line, somehow all got away with it.
Yeah, and I want you to pay attention. If you see a race for the lead right here on the front, but if you watch back 8 or 10 cars, these guys that have tires, the difference in speed, not just of those cars, but also with a little bit fresher tires, these guys will be going as wide as they can. William Byron going up trying to get by Anthony Alfredo.
But Jed Burton hanging tough in that inside lane. Alfredo trying to get the race lead. Brandon Jones on 4 fresh tires has led the most laps tonight. Couple of laps into the stage under green. Here comes the 20. He is strong. Going to 2nd. He'll probably have the lead by the time we get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and the strategy of the 88, they wanted to get out in front, maybe build a 1 or 2 second lead, but you see right now the fastest car on the track, Brandon Jones, right behind him with better tires.
He didn't quite get there by the start-finish line. I'm glad I didn't bet the over-under. But here he is off of turn 2, looking for the top spot, going after 2017 champion William Byron.
And the right side of your screen is 3 wide, 2 rows there for 1 second. Just a gaggle of cars all going in different places right now, with Brent Cruz on the top side, Cory Day on the bottom, as Brandon Jones down the inside.
I meant the next time around.
Yeah, there you
at
go.
The start-finish line. Brandon Jones back in the race lead and in control, maybe. Boy, I'll tell you, Byron not giving it up in the 88.
Yeah, Jones has the better tires, has the grip, finally is able to clear him right here. Byron fought back hard on the outside being the preferred groove at this track so far throughout this race. Gosh, listen to the throttle again of that 20 car Brandon Jones. You hear him just a little lift on entry and then able to roll right back to wide open.
Doesn't even sound like Kansas to me. Every time we've come here, usually in the fall, September-ish, it can be so hot and slick. As we look back here, this was Harrison Burton getting really sideways. 17 of Cory Day just in his left rear a little bit. This was all these cars we saw that were 3 abreast for a while. Multiple corners.
Jesse Love Those 2 tires that he came down and got, that call may end up being really positive for them as he works his way to 3rd around Alfredo.
And Adam, I think you're a great play-by-play, but your crew chiefing skills, the fact that you called that and said they were going to come back in and get the lefts, and that's what happened, that might be the highlight of my race so far.
I was channeling my inner Danny Downforce. Hey, it's time to go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Turn it up. You got a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota out front, and you got another joining the highlight reel, almost sideways there. In fact, he was sideways talking about the 19 of Brent Cruz.
So everything we described about what happened with Austin Hill and Jesse Love, Brent Cruz you just watched him learn that in real time when they take the air off your right rear, what happens. He got loose off of 4, gathered up perfectly. It's all part of the learning at 1.5 miles in this highly aero-intensive racing that you're just constantly trying to evaluate your aero position in relation to other cars. You see here, not quite losing off the right rear, but as he has to pinch off the corner there as Cory Day is coming down, it just makes the right rear kick out.
Well, and he kind of had a double whammy. He had one on his outside, and then also one right up behind him. It's a terrible position to be put in, and you just got to have your guard up in that position.
Brandon Jones has led 31 laps tonight. His advantage right now, almost a full second over second place William Byron. Here's 20 radio.
How's the wind gust right here? Stronger than it's been. I'm feeling come all the way to the corner. Just feels like we're just a little insecure all the way through.
Hear him talking about the wind. The thing that anytime I see an onboard, I watch the steering wheel. You see him take a little peek in the rearview mirror, and if you watch him turn into the corner, there's no counter steer to the right. Hear him roll out of the throttle. He's rolling back into the throttle right now. He's just feeding that car. It's like the car's turning really well. It's not too loose. It's not tight because he's not having to roll out of the throttle on exit. He looks very relaxed inside of the car. As we get a little bit of a look here at the flag. Typically the flag blows in that direction, makes you loose into turn 3. Kim, do you have more on the 20?
Oh!
And now the Whelen caution lights are on. We'll get with Kim in a moment. It's yellow number 5 of the night. Anthony Alfredo.
Stay up.
Into the wall.
Yeah, it looked like he has a right front down there. This happened down the front stretch. Not sure what maybe precipitated before I saw him getting the outside wall on the front stretch.
Alfredo was 10th, had made that strategy call to lead us back to the green to begin stage 2. Tough night for Viking. Second lap of the race, Parker Retzloff caught up, got damaged, and Alfredo, who was trying to make something happen, a tire issue, and he goes into the wall.
Yeah, you see it go down right there. All the debris fly out on the front stretch. One of the worst spots for the right front to go down through the tri-oval right there. There was about a lap prior, the 87 car had some smoke of Austin Green. He got to pit lane. I don't know if maybe there was debris on the track or something he could have hit there. I think the 87 was maybe blowing up and had an engine issue, so possibly something that Alfredo ran over just in the way that tire just went on him down the front stretch. Here you see the 87 Austin Green on pit road, and that happened just about a lap prior, where the 87 had some smoke coming out of the rear, so just really unfortunate for Anthony Alfredo. It seems like he's had so much speed this year, but they can't seem to catch a break in this 96 car in terms of getting results.
Well, and I looked at the updated standings as we were racing on track, and with the other drivers who had issues tonight, he had worked his way up 13th, 14th, right in that area just outside that chase cutoff line, and I felt like maybe tonight is the night they're on the other side of the bad luck, and maybe they get themselves right back in the game. And unfortunately, they have an issue. And now Austin Green, whose dad David won here in 2003, has climbed from his race car 87 done for the night. So it was a gear issue. We're getting a report for Austin Green in the 87. The tire for the 96 also saw Blake Lothian in the 35 off the pace. He was having a brake problem.
Well, if he had a brake rotor problem,
be the issue
that
right
would
there.
be exactly what the issue with Anthony Alfredo. That'll cut a tire down to me, especially if they're hot. It's so unfortunate. Parker, you mentioned that. You see the damage.
Again, this is the worst case scenario. You get back out there and then the fender.
You can slow down your pace when you get back to the apron.
Other suspension bits might be rubbing against that tire, and now you blow out another one. That just compounds the issue.
The Whelen caution lights are on. What you're seeing on the track right now is the same Whelen emergency warning technology used by police, fire, and EMS vehicles across America. Trusted every day to protect those who protect us. You know, the caution here comes out at an interesting time.
A little bit more if you need to.
25 laps to go in the stage. I'm guessing, given where we're at with tires, everybody hangs here and doesn't make a pit stop. We'll follow up with all that.
Well, you're the crew chief now.
Yeah, when we return. Underway at Kansas, midway through stage number 2. Brandon Jones has been outstanding so far. He leads right now. Closed captioning for today's race brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Been some kind of race on this Saturday evening in Kansas City, Kansas for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. The one thing that really has not caught us off guard, Brandon Jones out front. I mean, we've referenced his success here tonight, trying to match Kyle Busch for most wins all time at this track in this series. That would be 4, and we got a few takers coming down. A couple of guys that had good track position. Sam Mayer was 11th, making a pit stop. Here's Kim.
Yeah, Sam Mayer saying we're just a little free overall. The higher we run, the freer we are. They were optimistic, though, about this race. This is their Vegas car. They had a great race in Vegas. In fact, they said this car has been great to us. So Sam Mayer taking service right now.
Takes on right side tires. And we're still cleaning up the racetrack, so we're going to step aside. 6 cars came down and made pit stops there. Going to be inside of 20 laps to go in stage 2 when we return to the green flag here in the Heartland. Tonight's round 2 in the dash for cash in 2026. These 3 drivers in a good spot right now. Allgaier, who won it last week at Bristol. Creed inside the top 10 after starting in the back. Brent Cruz doing a nice job, eligible for the first time. He is 8th, making his first Kansas appearance. And now we get to our golden moment, brought to you by Golden Corral. And it features the other driver that came in looking for the $100,000 second lap of the race, and Carson Quapple up and over.
Just a vicious, hellacious looking wreck. Tumbling down the backstretch. Hard hits right here, and the suspension is compromised. Ends up on his lid, but most importantly, right there, gets out of it.
Safety crews did an outstanding job of executing the plan, getting that car turned over, and as you saw, Carson able to climb from his Chevrolet and walk away.
And look here, as you see Brandon Jones, William Byron took the outside. That gave Jesse Love the front row here on the restart.
You know, they played that strategy. Two tires at lap 40, right side tires at lap 40, came back at lap 49, got left side tires. It's netted him some track position. He's appeared to have a really good car, good history at this track. I'm anxious to see what he can do with Brandon Jones on the front row here.
And I've been impressed with Byron on those 9-lap older tires. He's been able to hang on really well. But what I want you to watch on this restart is if Brandon Jones can remain side by side with Jesse Love, when they get to the middle of turns 1 and 2, watch at the speed of Brandon Jones to the middle of the corner. That's where he's been so strong and been able to get the lead.
Restart with 19 laps to go in our second stage. Already 41 laps out front for Brandon Jones tonight.
Saw Jesse Love kind of starting to move Jones up. Jones trying to move him down. Watch right here through the middle of 1 and 2, though. That 20 car so fast right through the middle, able to gas it up, clear him. Byron's going to have a run here. Does he do anything with it? He's going to get to the inside now of Love, heading down into turn 3 and trying to clear him.
Restarts at Kansas, the land of opportunity.
Byron sent it off in there and then slid up in front of Jesse Love and is able to maintain that second place position.
And for Jesse Love, that was the best you could hope for. You were hoping to clear Byron, most likely stay in front of him, but wasn't able to do that. Slotting back into third is just no gain essentially from the restart, so perfect situation for him considering his tire situation.
All clear.
Corey Day strong early, trying to make his way back up after losing track position in that cycle of stops, riding with Creed. A little shot to the tail side from Justin Allgaier. These drivers racing from 5th on back.
You heard the RPMs rise there just for a millisecond.
I think that's because the tires were off the ground.
Hey, look right in front of this group. Sammy Smith has worked his way to 4th very quietly. Started 14th, finished 4th in this race last fall. The 8 is a player right now, but under attack. Sheldon Creed continues his drive to the front.
Corey Day committed to running that really high line through 1 and 2 and then turning down, trying to exit just a little bit straighter. You see Creed doing the exact opposite. He's committed to the bottom, trying to get to the inside of Sammy Smith, who you just referenced.
We haven't quite seen anyone actually run on the walls we've seen here in the past. I think the cooler temperatures maybe take away the advantage that would have if we get into a longer run in stage 3. I expect it here as Sheldon ships it into 1.
Wow, did you see Day? I mean, he was all over the place.
But I was going to say that if the outside running the wall does come in sort of on the longer run, take a look at Sheldon Creed. He'll most likely be the first one to try and do that because he's so good at running the wall.
Corey Day tried to get to the inside of Sammy Smith right there, but just doesn't have the grip. You see he's going to move up and block Allgaier now. He's lost his momentum. Going to go back to the top, try to get some speed built up down the backstretch. Brandon Jones, meanwhile, is just checked out on these guys, running 2 to 3/10 a lap quicker.
Brent Cruz making it 3 wide, driving up the middle. Got to give a pop to Dean Thompson.
He's been 3 wide this whole race.
Every time we say Brent Cruz, it's followed by 3 wide.
But you know what? Dean Thompson having a good night in the 26. We've talked about Sam Hunt Racing and their struggles this year, but Dean has been really good at this track. Top 10 here last fall. Another 3 wide episode here. Gray, Day, and Allgaier riding that outside lane.
Yeah, Justin was able to get to the outside of Corey. Oh, wow. Corey Day on the exit of 4. Carry that momentum down the backstretch. Those two almost collide. But they're on the exit of 2. Corey Day might have clipped the wall right here on the exit of turn 4 the lap before.
That'll be the 3rd one in this race.
That was more than a kiss, just so we're clear. That was more of a little bit of contact. And then
here just tries to slot behind the 7.
Yeah, that could have been big.
It looked right here. Wow.
That was impressive. Super loose on the exit.
You know, similar situation in how you come off that corner to what we saw from Quapple and Byron earlier in the race in terms of that the radius condenses off of turn 2, and so it funnels cars running the bottom and outside together. As you saw there, as Corey just trying to slot in behind the 7.
Yeah, Parker, you mentioned the top not coming in, but as I watch Brandon Jones, he's one of the only cars that can run that little bit higher line, does turn down a little bit on exit, but he's able to do that on both ends and carry good speed there. It's like these other guys, just the balance of their car isn't where they need to be to run that line.
And the guy we're on board with right now doesn't need it. He's absolutely flying around the bottom. Sheldon Creed, he was the 2nd fastest car on the racetrack that last lap with a pass.
Well, and I think he probably wants to be higher, but that's, you know, he's having to try to pass Byron right now. The sun playing a huge role in this too. I don't know if you noticed that in the middle of 3 and 4, these guys have clear visors on because we're going to end at night. So you got this transition, this weird transition period of day to night.
Look at our Mobil 1 leaderboard. Going to be 10 laps to go, stage 2. Brandon Jones in charge. Closing on 50 laps led in this one, won the opening stage. William Byron, that contact early was second, but he's going to lose that spot to Sheldon Creed, who comes through in the 0-0. 0-0 on those better tires, and that might be starting to show something late in the run as well. Love hanging in fourth. Sammy Smith in the top 5, and Brent Cruz gets a bit of it there. That 2 more than a kiss.
Ooh, that
right
was,
in front of Dean Thompson.
That was a pretty good hit right there. That could have done some damage to the rear suspension of that car. Did you see Creed's committed to the bottom? Yeah. He actually got by Byron. I thought he would go and run the top immediately, but he likes the way that car feels. And as you listen to the throttle of this 0-0 car versus Brandon Jones, the top versus the bottom.
Well, right as on cue, he goes to the top.
There you go.
For you.
He's moving around trying to find the grip he wants. But when he's on the bottom, you hear him out of the throttle a lot more than what we saw from Brandon Jones. Let's see what he does down here in 3 and 4. Commits to the bottom. Hear him kind of roll into the throttle. He's got some clean air right now. He would use more throttle than he did a few laps ago.
And he was 0.2 a lap faster than Brandon Jones on that last lap, and was the fastest car on that lap right there.
We're gonna have a race here before long. See some of these guys, tracks changing, who's making the right adjustments to their cars.
I mean, I just go to last year, and so many times we saw this at Las Vegas earlier this season on a 1.5 miles. You get a little bit amped up on who the best cars are stage 1 and stage 2, but they're such short stints compared to what you see in the final stage of a 300-mile, 1.5 mile race. Last year, Jones came on in the final stage to win it, but he's been dominant stage 1 and stage 2 tonight, an advantage of 2.5 seconds with 7 laps to go in our second run of the evening. Jesse Love able to get by to third.
Big wiggle. Now throws some blocks there off of 2. Going by William Byron.
You know, the good thing for both those drivers, they're going to be level on tires in another 6 laps with everybody else. There was some strategy there at the end of stage 1, impacted what everybody had in stage 2, but everybody going to be back playing the same game when we wrap up this second stage.
And Jesse Love is going to love that, because he's absolutely sliding all over the place as he's trying to hold off William Byron, who goes to the outside here. Can he get to his right rear? Not quite. But that, you see the hands inside the race car there for Jesse Love. It's been the same story off of turn 4 and turn 2 on this lap, just sliding that right rear.
Well, and you referenced earlier Creed being the fastest car on the track. Now the fastest car on the track has been that 7 of Justin Allgaier behind. He's caught these guys, but they're running the line that he needs. Allgaier's car, though, if we get a long run, the 7 is really fast here.
4 champs in the field tonight, 3 of them right here. Love won it all last year, 2017. William Byron got it done driving for Junior Motorsports. Of course, Justin Allgaier won the title in 2024. They are 3rd, 4th, and 5th on track as we get an update on race leader Brandon Jones out front with 4 to go in the stage, Kim.
That's right, Adam. Let's get a Toyota driver update. Brandon Jones winning stage 1, trying to sweep the stages and win stage 2. And crew chief Sam McCauley said there was a concerted effort this year to be better early in the race, and that's shown up. They have around double the stage points this year than they earned this time last year. Again, looking for the stage 2 win, but maybe a slight problem, some debris on the grill. Listen to the in-car communication from Brandon.
I've got flashing water. Oh, we're close to 260. See if it keeps climbing or not. It's not huge, but see if it keeps climbing. We're holding right here for now.
And that's the indication then that it's not going up in terms of the water temperature on the engine. And he mentions 260 because all the teams have, especially the different manufacturers, have levels that they start to get more and more concerned, as William Byron was having a bit of an issue there, and 260 isn't quite there. Once you get above 270 for sure, an extended period of time, that can do serious damage to the engine.
Now, the good news is, I mean, you got just a couple of laps to go in the stage. So,
yes.
I mean, if you can withstand that, get back, wipe the debris off when you make your pit stop.
Byron, you saw him get super loose, gets up into the wall right there. Sammy Smith gets his inside. I don't know if he has a tire going down. It looked to me like almost had a soft tire as he drove in, but he's still able to maintain decent speed right here. That other Hendrick car, Cory Day, I saw him around the bottom a second ago. Another one of those cars that looks really good on the long run if we get into this final stage. see what the 17 can do.
Harrison Burton, one of those drivers that made a pit stop when the caution came out at lap 68. He's worked his way up to 8th in the running order. Sam Mayer is 10th. He came down and got 2 tires in that cycle of stops when those drivers came down.
Close.
Corey Day flirting with the wall again. Final lap, stage 2.
He's fun to watch.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
a wheel man.
unbelievable.
It's awesome.
Well, and I think these
anytime you
tracks-
put a camera on that car, something is occurring.
Yeah, he does so well at these tracks where you have to move around. I feel like that fits kind of what he's grown up doing with the sprint cars and searching for grip, never being content with what you have. See, Brandon Jones is going to get that off of his grill right here before he comes down.
Yeah, he'll do that, and then he'll take the green and white checkered flag. Stage sweep for Brandon Jones. Only second time in his career he's done that. Did it in 2020 at Fontana. Good race here for 5th in the stage. Day finishing in front of Sammy Smith. Creed got to 2nd after starting in the rear. He gets stage points in both stages. Allgaier top 5 in another stage. Love on those 2 tires finished 4th. Great city in our nation's heartland, Kansas City. We're racing on the Kansas side tonight, and it's been the Brandon Jones Show. As we head into this final stage, it's time to refuel, and Arby's has got you covered with a $7.99 meat and 3 box that's loaded with all your Arby's favorites, your choice of sandwich, mozzarella sticks, curly fries, a peach cobbler roll, and a small drink. Scan the QR code to order now on the Arby's app. Arby's, we have the meats. I said off the top, sun's going down in Kansas City, Kansas, and it's still going down.
It's beautiful.
It
Cars
is.
sliding around a Midwest track, the sun setting. It's poetic. Look at that. Oh.
Hey, look at this. We referenced the fact that Brandon Jones has swept the stages. That's not necessarily a good thing. It's happened 4 times already this year. Allgaier did it at Las Vegas. Larson has done it twice. Cory Day at Rockingham. But I will tell you, in none of those situations did that driver go on and win at the end of the night. We'll see what Brandon Jones has here tonight.
But at least 2 of the 4 did win a race this year. So it is a good sign that you're running well.
Well, absolutely, yeah. You'd take that over the other, right?
That's right.
All right, we're going to open Progressive Pit Road here. Jones leading them down. What's happening, Dylan Welch?
Yeah, 7 of Allgaier has just been okay tonight. He asked for some more right rear security and better fire off. They're going to make an air pressure change on all 4 corners to help his front turn and rear stick. Kim?
Well, Dylan, for the stage sweeper, Brandon Jones, he said when the wind died down, the car started to come to me, but he said same trends as before, starts to go tight, and then you see Sheldon Creed in the 00 at the very bottom. He said, I'm good, but I could be a little better if I had more right rear stick, center off. I'm just too free to commit to the throttle, so they'll try and give a little security with an air pressure adjustment. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel.
Pit Road advantage, name of the game last year when Brandon Jones won here. In control coming in, and once again the pit crew does their job. Race off Progressive Pit Road. Creed is second, Love +1, Allgaier lost 1, +2 for Taylor Gray. Places. Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Getting ready for the final stage at Kansas. Now we get a replay brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com.
Yeah, and we've talked about the 20 pit crew all night long, but I want to give Brandon Jones some love right here. As we watch Allgaier coming in stall, little gingerly coming in. They're talking about the brake pedals being slow. They had an issue on the left front. And then Jones, watch that right front tire. Lock up. That gives the changer a read on the lug nut. Not only his placement stop, but the speed he had getting onto that stall.
There's multiple phases to pit road. There's drive time. That means the driver's time down through the stage to getting to the stall. There's the entry into the stall speed-wise, and then there's the stop and the exit portion. The 20 team is nailing every part of it.
Restart on the way. Let's go to the CW Garage and Carla.
Yeah, Adam, and Kansas is just one of those tracks where Brandon Jones knows other drivers are watching him, really studying how he runs. He said it's fun, but also comes with a need for self-awareness because he does understand this place so well. He said, I may know the different lanes and how they change throughout the run, but I also can't get lazy with that information. He said, when other drivers ask, he said, as hard as it is, I'm actually honest about the keys to this place because I still understand that it's up to them to execute. And he said, that's a team effort to try and execute at Kansas, which the 20 team, as we can tell, throughout the race has done a pretty good job.
Well, they've been incredible, and they sweep the stages, so he's maxed out tonight when it comes to stage points. Allgaier does it again, hitting 16, top 5 in both stages. Good effort for Cory Day. Love and Creed doing some positive things in that regard as well. As we anticipate the restart, we remind you closed captioning for today's race. Brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Hey, some penalties. Josh Williams, 92, team over the wall too soon. Same for Jeb Burton in the 27, equipment violation. Nathan Bird in the 42, uncontrolled tire for Josh Bilicki. Those drivers coming from the back.
And the sun is finally gone. We're under the lights. This may be entirely different than what we've seen these first 2 stages.
Brandon Jones closing on 70 laps led, has swept the stages. Can he finish the deal? Final stage, off and rolling. Here comes the 20 in control again.
Oh, they're going to make it 4 wide now, going down into turn 1.
Taylor Gray painting the white line. Middle is Sheldon Creed. And once again, center corner off. Brandon Jones flexing his muscles. 20 trying to get control in the outside lane.
Look at the momentum that Creed's going to have on the bottom. He's going to try to slide up in front of Jones right here.
New race leader from the back to the front, going for the dash for cash. Sheldon Creed leading at Kansas.
What a series of moves by Sheldon there. He backed up in the restart box, got a great run, then still got taken advantage of into turn 1 by Taylor Gray getting below him on the apron, fought back to the middle to take the lead. Excellent job, Sheldon Creed.
Allgaier around his teammate, 7 going around the 8 of Sammy Smith. Cory Day getting impatient. Sam Mayer there in the 41. And Brent Cruz in his first appearance at Kansas continues to hang inside the top 10.
17 car looks like it struggles just a little bit on this restart, so I saw him give a shot to Sammy Smith down the backstretch, but then trying to run that top, just not able to carry the momentum, that the shorter distance around the bottom these guys have. See, he's now moved down, kind of running the middle.
Oh, wow! There goes Sammy Smith. Day sideways as well. Ryan Seed goes for a ride. Everybody trying to keep it off the wall. Minimal damage. Caution number 7 as the Wheeling caution lights illuminate one more time.
Doesn't look like too much damage to the 8. I know the 17.
Definite right front
little bit
damage
of
there.
Yeah, right front fender damage. They're going to have to address that. Gosh, when you come to a track this fast, so much throttle time, all that aero is massive.
8 consecutive top 10s for Cory Day, and coming to a place where you felt like he would be really good, just thinking about his history and what he's done on the 1.5 miles.
But those noses, it's deceiving. Those can pop out. You know, it's pushed in now. We'll see what they can do. I mentioned Cory struggling around the top to carry that momentum, and then he'd run the middle. Looked like he had a really good run through the middle of 1 and 2 and got to the inside of the 8.
Well, he's been so fast, and I think he was getting slightly impatient there behind the 8. They had the very close clear off of 2 for Sammy Smith in front there down the backstretch, and then it almost they got close again down the front stretch. And then it looked like Cory here, as we take a look back, just gets to that left rear, which is a super vulnerable place for the car that you get close to. And Sammy just loses all the air on that rear spoiler when he gets the air packed on the left rear, gets sideways. Looked like they were going to drive both each other into the wall, but got detached.
Yeah, you see Cory Day get to his inside.
It's just right here.
Slight damage. I mean, just barely makes contact. But the 8's in a vulnerable position right there, the exit of the corner.
And it starts with the air packing there in that left rear and removing the air from the rear spoiler, where the 8 starts to get sideways, and then the hit there, you see that finishes him off.
Look who comes through. 28 of Kyle Sieg inside the top 10.
Wow.
There's an awesome story to tell in the final stage at Kansas. The fastest growing cable news network in all of television is News Nation. News Nation respects all Americans and is news for all Americans. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com. You know, tonight marks only the second time the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series has raced under the lights at Kansas. But with that sun going down and this sunset looking like that, we need to do it more often. I mean, that is just beautiful. We're getting the choose here. Do that with 96 laps to go. Going to be 95 to go, so we're past halfway when we get the restart. Front row, Jones and Creed.
Really one of the first times that we're going to see Brandon Jones on the inside lane in this race. He's had the option to be in the outside and taken almost every restart.
Justin Allgaier coming from row 3 here, Dylan.
Yeah, that's right. Officially going to roll off 5th, but here is some Star Key radio communication between he and crew chief Andrew Overstreet just a moment ago.
Shake it off. You're the veteran. For all the bad ones you have, you've won us 2 races already this year on restarts. I have no problem with you trying different stuff. I know you're the best guy out here.
Do you save that Taylor Swift reference for Kansas City or what?
I'm too old to be listening to Taylor Swift, bud. I hear you, bud.
Well, and that's good, right? They're having fun. They're running fifth. And Andrew, I talked to him earlier this year about just being the encourager for Justin, and that's something that he's very cognizant of every weekend. Andrew said in the past he's tried to be the guy that's kind of hard on people to motivate him, and just hasn't really worked for him. So you hear the encouragement there. That's worked for them so far this year, and keeping it up again today.
Yeah, I mean, he's won a third of the races this year.
Yeah,
and
done well.
And when you've had a night that you're frustrated with and you've scored 16 stage points and you got a very good chance to win this one, I would say that's a good off night.
And Justin's considered one of the best restarters in this series.
Creed coming from the outside lane. 95 to go as we run it through the Poet restart zone.
Looked like that top lane was almost locked together as you see Taylor Gray giving Creed a big shove down into turn one.
I didn't know if he was ever going to release him.
Look at Allgaier on the top. The momentum he's going to have on the exit right here. Can he do anything with it?
He chose that outside lane. Dylan mentioned he was fifth prior to the choose. He goes to the high side, and it's paying dividends so far.
Yeah, he has to go way up just trying to get clean air on the nose. Oh, you see Jones get loose underneath his teammate, have to chase it up the racetrack just a little bit. Creed's loving this.
I go back to Las Vegas. Taylor Gray, so good on the mile-and-a-half there. Remember, he and Creed got together. He hit the wall and had his day in prematurely, but he was really good on that intermediate track, trying to make something happen here, flashing to the inside of his teammate Jones for second.
That's the first time we've seen the 20 passed really all night long. As you see Allgaier
happening again.
Yeah, Allgaier getting a big run on the top. The 7 car coming to life at the right time tonight.
Apparently that encouragement works. Got a great restart, went to the top side, tons of momentum. Now looking again to the outside of Taylor Gray. Can he get that momentum?
As he goes to the high side, Jones looking down low, waiting right behind him, Jesse Love.
Well, this is the end that he was so good around the top, but Taylor Gray kind of counters, moves up in front. Allgaier just trying to get some clean air on the nose. You see he'll either peek to the right or the left, just trying to get half a car out to get the grip that he needs.
Here's the other thing to think about as we get into this final stage inside of 100 laps to go, and that is the dash for cash. Quapple eliminated early when he flipped on lap 2, but the other 3 drivers right in it. You don't have to win the race to get the money. You just have to finish in front of the other drivers. Creed handling both ends of that equation right now. He's out front. Allgaier is third, and Cruz hanging tough. Brent Cruz in 7th.
But the way Sheldon Creed and Justin Allgaier are running, I think if you're Brent Cruz or any of the guys in the dash for cash, you're going to have to win this race to win the dash for cash tonight.
Pretty impressed with Taylor Gray. He's been able to, I thought Allgaier was going to get around him fairly quick, but the 54 actually driving away just a little bit right now.
What are they saying about driver 5-4, Dylan?
They've been pretty happy today, and it was interesting talking to crew chief Jason Ratcliffe yesterday. They've had a good couple of runs the last couple of weeks, top 10 finishes, and Jason said, frankly, that it's kind of about time for them. Their teammates have been running good, winning races or contending for wins, and they haven't been. So we got to figure it out was basically his message, and I think this is exactly what they wanted today. They expected to be good. Remember, they were so good at Las Vegas, the other mile-and-a-half we run on earlier this year. There are some differences that Jason noted, but I think the basic platform is the same, and they felt like it was going to apply. So running second right now is a great day for these guys, and in contention certainly to try and finish it off and have one of their best runs of the year.
And Dylan, you mentioned Vegas where he was really fast, but what happened in that race was Sheldon Creed got to his rear bumper.
That's it.
And sent him into 3, and he is catching Sheldon right now by 2/10 the last lap. It was a 10th the lap before. He is reeling in that 0-0 of Sheldon Creed.
Well, we celebrate the success of Jason Ratcliffe and what he's done with his 54 team as Brent Cruz in the 19 goes by Sam Mayer for 6th. Perfect timing, because when you look at the crew chief lineup at JGR and what they've accomplished at this mile-and-a-half, they've all been to victory lane. Jeff Mendering did it twice with Brandon Jones. Seth Chafka got it done a couple of years ago with Eric Almirola. Sam McCauley last fall with Brandon Jones, who got his 3rd win here. And Ratcliffe did it all the way back in 2003 with David Green. How about that?
We had to dig deep for the Ratcliffe stat.
I'm sorry, Jason. We're telling everyone how old you are. He's so good he led McMurray to victory lane.
Exactly right. That shows how impressive anybody can win with that guy.
That's right.
Well, you said it. Look at the 54. creeping up on the 00 again, another 10th that lap. But we've seen all night long the line that Creed's running around the top. It's so hard to get that pass done around the bottom. So Taylor's going to have to get a plan together as he catches him, exactly how he wants to maneuver this. By far the best car on the track at this moment.
And look at this, the 18-year-old Brent Cruz passing last year's champ, Jesse Love. I'm telling you, if there was stock available for this kid, I'd be buying. This is incredible.
Okay, he learned in stage 1 and stage 2, but was able to get stage points, and now here he is as we head in toward the 4th quarter of the race. He's inside the top 5 and flexing lots of muscle. It's time to go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Turn it up. Sheldon Creed leading the race at Kansas, 84 laps to go. Taylor Gray half a second behind. Allgaier, Jones, Cruz, your top 5. William Byron been quiet tonight, making his 2nd start of the year, driving the 88 for Junior Motorsports. He's 9th, been bounced around a little bit as that team. They won our last mile and a half with Kyle Larson behind the wheel at Las Vegas.
That car right behind him, Dean Thompson, having a great night for Sam Hunt Racing in 10th. And then I look at his teammate Harrison Burton in 13th. So great night for Sam Hunt Racing.
Well, I mean, you think about what's happening in front of Byron. You got Kyle Sieg there, and then back behind him, several drivers making a splash. You mentioned Harrison Burton. Cory Day, though, now he's going to be down a set of tires. That could be really tough on this team depending on how the race plays out. But after the damage, he's driving back through, has got himself to 13th in the running order. And that's big for a driver who came in top 5 in points. We look at our Powerball power movers since the restart, plus 15 for Day. Ryan Sieg also had the slide. He's at plus 14. So both those drivers starting to find their way back. And Kyle Sieg, you just have to celebrate it. And ironically, his best run so far in 2026 was the mile and a half at Vegas when he finished 14th. A lot of times you see him pop up in the draft. I'm sure we'll talk about him next Saturday at Talladega, but tonight getting it done on the intermediate at Kansas.
And often at these types of tracks, we see him up front maybe when they go off strategy and take tires to go and try and get some stage points, but legitimately there in the top 10 right now. This is a huge run for Kyle Sieg. Great job by this whole 2018.
The younger of the Sieg brothers bought his first house in the offseason. And, you know, we tease sometime about Rodney Childers on the pit box for the one team, or Cory Day, just very laid back. Kyle Sieg could give them a run for their money. You know, he's very laid back, too. All right, heading toward 80 laps to go. Top 5 at Kansas. Creed, Gray, Allgaier, Jones, and Cruz. Glad you're with us from Kansas. You're watching the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, race 10 in 2026, live on the CW. We're at Kansas Speedway. 27th time these cars have raced here. Sheldon Creed able to take over the race lead here in this final stage. He's got an 0.8 of a second advantage over second place Taylor Gray. Justin Allgaier is third, and right behind him, Brandon Jones, who has led 67 laps tonight, won the first 2 stages of the race. And as we hit 70 laps to go, we're closing on that point. Remind everybody, you do need to make a pit stop in this final stage. A lot of times we see it under green, and typically you start to see that window open right around 60 laps remaining.
You and him.
As Brandon Jones gets the inside of Justin Allgaier here, probably clear him down before into turn 1. We just ticked into the longest green flag run of the day to explain how crazy this day has been. That's 22 laps, longest of the day right here.
Yeah, and as you look at these top 4 guys all separated by just over 2 seconds, everybody's lap times are really close. This is kind of leveled off. They've made adjustments to their cars. These top 4 cars are all very similar. Brandon Jones maybe being the best of those guys you see making the pass. And so as a driver, crew chief start working on this of when you're going to pit, because there is some lap time fall off, and pitting a lap or 2 early can be the difference of running 4th or leapfrogging into the lead. So there's a risk, though, that comes with that. If you pit and you go a lap down, it can get you behind, but that's what these guys are going to have to think about as we run the next 25 to 30 laps.
And the other thing we've just gotten confirmation, this is the coldest O'Reilly race ever at Kansas, just down to 55 degrees. We see that with how much grip is in the racetrack, when we go on the onboards, how much they're in the throttle around here. Well, if you're in the throttle a ton, you're using a lot of fuel, so some of the teams are going to have to adjust that from what we've historically seen in the past here. So all those question marks are still available.
Look at this for Sheldon Creed. You have problems in the inspection line, no practice, no qualifying. You drop to the rear to start the race. You get stage points in both stages, nearly came back to win stage 2. You get the job done on a restart, take over the top spot, and the graph has been incredible, and it's all topped out here in this final stage of the race. The execution of this team has been outstanding here tonight, Kim.
That's right. Remember, they're going for that $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus. Sheldon Creed coming into this race with 3 straight top 5s at Kansas. In fact, he's never finished worse than 11th here. And we've seen that strength from them all season. Crew Chief Jonathan Tony telling me, look, we've been running in the top 5 or 6 consistently. We just need to capitalize more on that. He was complimentary of Sheldon, his maturity on track, and his racecraft and his decisions. Let's get some in-car communication courtesy of Starkey, though, on what they were telling him based on what Taylor Gray was doing a couple laps ago.
He drives into 3, maybe half a lane lower than us. He makes it all in. He makes it all up on entry to 3. That's his strong point.
And they're continuing to give him updates on what Taylor is doing, what his lap times are compared to the 54, Dylan.
And the second highest running car eligible for the Dash for Cash is this one, the 7-car Justin Allgaier, 4th on the leaderboard, trying to go for 7 straight top 5s this year if they're able to hold on to this one with 69 laps to go. Last year in the fall, they felt like this is one of those races that got away from them. Felt like they were maybe the best car, but just tried to do some things on strategy to take a risk because they were good on points. Ultimately didn't work out, but came back with a similar approach today. And something else to note too, crew chief Andrew Overstreet, crew chief Connor Zillich a couple of years ago when Connor was making select starts, and they finished 4th here. So another racetrack where these guys have a really good notebook to pull things from. He's been quiet on this run, but he did say at the beginning of this final stage that they helped his fire off with the adjustments they made at the end of stage 2, Kim.
And Dylan, Brent Cruz, that 3rd driver that's still in the running for the Dash for Cash bonus, currently running in that 5th position, got into the Dash for Cash from his 3rd place finish at Bristol. And I talked with crew chief Seth Chopka just about that finish, almost getting his first win. And he said, look, you really can't ask much more out of a driver than finishing 3rd to 2 of the best, meaning Connor Zillich and Kyle Larson last week. And he said, obviously we wanted to win, but they were not disappointed. In fact, they were encouraged, and Seth felt like everyone got to see the potential that Brent Cruz has, and it's showing up here this afternoon. Top 5 right now just battling tight, and that's been his complaint the majority of the night.
I just don't know how you measure it, Kim. What's more impressive? Finishing 3rd last week at Bristol behind Zilich and Larson are coming here tonight to an intermediate when you've never done this and running top 5. Across the board, he just continues to show it's such an outstanding night for this 18-year-old who, by the way, if he were able to get up there and win this race, would be the youngest ever in the history of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
I think it's safe to say with Brent Cruz, we're going to hear the word history and making a lot throughout his career. So talented at what he's been able to accomplish. You know, guys, talking about everybody racing for $100,000. This guy, Cory Day, was involved in that accident with Sammy Smith just a few minutes ago. They've come in, they put those tires on, and I watched him. He progressed through the field, but he kept losing time to the leader. He was almost 12 seconds back at one point. He's now 8 seconds back, consistently the fastest car on the track, and it's been 3/10, 6/10. He's made up a lot of ground. If we can run 15 more laps, I think he might be close enough that some strategy could put them back in a position to be able to possibly win this race.
And one of the things I noticed there when we were watching him until he caught William Byron here, he was the most aggressive of being on the wall. Already have beat up the right side of that car enough. Why not take the advantage of and take the risk if the wall has some speed in terms of putting that car right on it. There he's trying to turn down to get away from the dirty air of William Byron.
Well, you know, Day was in that incident. He's coming back, and so is the 39 of Ryan Sieg, who's just behind this duo back in the 10th position. They both want this thing, though, to run long and stay green because they have one less set of tires than everybody else. Another guy that wants it to stay green, right of your screen, Brandon Jones, just continues to drive his way toward the front. He got by Allgaier for third, now knocking on the door of his teammate Taylor Gray for second. You know, he was 3 seconds back. It's now a second and a half behind race leader Sheldon Creed. We know how good they've been on pit road. If they can make this cycle work, Brandon Jones might be the guy in the final portion of this race. Here he is looking to the inside. Sammy Smith had the problems. He's fallen off the lead lap. They easily go by him. And Jones looking for the runner-up spot as we look towards 60 laps to go.
Gosh, you can see the speed in that 20 car. Just able to enter the corner a little harder and also get turned down. It's so much fun to watch these guys enter top and then turn right in the middle of the corner and drive off. It looks odd, but they're just able to use so much more throttle that way.
And it's a diamond, and the reason it works is because of the progressive banking. You use the changes in the banking angle to turn the race car. So as you come off the top one and start to go to the middle, it de-wedges and rotates the race car and continues all the way to the exit portion of the corner. So it's a line that came about a couple years ago, and in certain races here at Kansas, when it works, it really works. And we're seeing a lot of people use it.
Jesse Love making a push here on the back end of this run. Racing Cruz, 2 really good friends for 5th, 2 able to drive by on the inside. He's in the top 5.
Yeah, and keep an eye on William Byron. Cory Day had caught him, and as I watched the lap times, Byron and Day had been running the fastest lap times. William is really committed to the top. I saw him coming off of turn 4. Look at that. He's committed now. Yeah. He's working that all the way around the top and is able to make a ton of lap time. It's the only car we've been able to see do this. You referenced kind of that diamond line, but Byron's committed to this. When Day caught him, he's now committed to just running all the way up against the wall. Watch that, following it all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the way around the corner.
I've been looking for this, and we finally have had a long enough run. We're at 36 laps in this run where that can really come into play. And he's been able to hold off Cory Day doing that, but I've been waiting to see who would be the first to get up there and really utilize his. Cory goes to the bottom,
he can't complete it. He's like, cut me a break, buddy. We got the same sponsor. Come on.
I thought he was going to get it easy. Couldn't close the deal.
Needs to be able to slide up in front of him right here. Byron's going to have a big run. He'd have to cut him a break. He's not going to. Oh, he does.
Day slides up, completes the pass.
Well, and
he's now 7th.
I think he goes to the wall now.
What can he do now that he's got, you know, a little bit of clean air? Is he commit to running that higher line? Oh, you saw the exhaust come out as he was out, kind of chasing it up the track just a little bit.
Hey, and at 58 laps to go, we're in the window. So now you can come down, make that pit stop, and you know you can go the rest of the way on fuel. And maybe some have pushed it too far. Got a report maybe Kyle Sieg is out of fuel, but he's making a pit stop here. And he does so with 58 laps remaining.
Well, that seems early to run out of fuel.
It is early, yeah.
See a lot
Taylor
of guys
Gray
on pit
comes
road.
down, makes his scheduled green flag stop, Dylan.
Yeah, this is the very first car of the leaders to make what will be their final scheduled stop. Taylor said that they were just trending too tight on that run. That was his biggest complaint. 4 tires and fuel for the 54.
I mean, look left of your screen. Jones is closing down on Creed, and it's going to be so compelling to see how they handle things as far as when you call them in and the gain you can make on those fresher tires if you pit a lap or two earlier.
And that we've seen issues with those Haas factory teams before. We saw that for Kyle Sieg. He's affiliated with Haas factory. Keep an eye on that as Jesse Love has hit pit road, Dylan.
Yeah, we'll be curious to see how many more of the leaders this brings down here. Jesse Love next up. The only thing really they were talking about was trying to improve his minimum speed in the center of the corner. They got the entry a little bit better. The middle was still too slow. You see the wrench in the back window. They're going to make a chassis adjustment just to try to help that 2-car get rotated. 4 tires and fuel for Jesse Love.
Love was racing for a spot in the top 5 when he gave up position to come down. Here's Justin Allgaier. He was in the top 5. He's making his pit stop. 55 to go, Dylan.
And the very first stall here off the exit of turn number 4. We told you about them improving the short run and the fire off. Justin said we moved the needle on that fire off, but at the end of that long run, I was paying the price for it. They'll go around and change 4 tires and add fuel as well. Looks like some air pressure and tape for the 7.
So Gray and Allgaier giving up spots inside the top 5 to pit. They come down before the Creed and Jones cars do. And so you start thinking about the fresher tires and the lap time they can make up here as they go back out. There is a lot to manage, and we'll follow it. Execution is huge here, both inside the race car and on the pit box.
2 seconds. The last lap is how much faster Taylor Gray was than Sheldon Creed leading this race. It's been 2 laps now. Pretty good at math here. 4 seconds he's made up in just these 2 laps. Now, if it plays out the whole way, it will come a little bit.
Here it comes.
But we're going to find out.
William Byron was making his stop, and here come the top 2. Jones had closed all the way down. Sheldon Creed in front of him. Scheduled stops coming with 53 laps to go, Kim.
Yeah, and really the first big complaints from Brandon Jones of the night. He said, laterally, I'm loose on exit. He said it's really bad, so he'll look for an adjustment here. His pit crew has been one of the best, if not the best, all night, looking to get time made up on pit road. As you see Sheldon Creed stopping in his box, he said starting to build a little tighter quarter to center later this run. He also had a message for his spotter. He said, do a better job on getting lappers out of the way. A little frustration from the driver of the 00.
Creed was in control. Jones gets away. Looks like he's going to pass. It's close. Look at him coming off. Drag race off the pit lane. Taylor Gray pitted earlier, and he drives right by him. Now, keep in mind, this right now is not the battle for the race lead because other drivers have to make stops. But when you start thinking about the cycle, 54 has been able to leapfrog here by coming a couple of laps earlier.
And it's a massive lead. It's almost the entire backstretch. And the car that's actually leading the race right now, Cory Day, is directly behind Taylor Gray right here as he crosses the start-finish line. It's going to all be, we talked about it was almost 2 seconds a lap he was making up before the pit cycle. Now it's going to be even lap times for the next 8 to 10 laps, and then maybe these guys can start creeping in on it.
So Gray has scored 7, top 6 yet to make pit stops. You reference Cory Day. He and Ryan Sieg came down much later than these guys, almost 10 laps, because they were involved in that accident. I'm very curious to see how far they run it because they know that they're down a set of tires depending on how this thing goes from here. And now we get the answer to the question for Cory Day. Gives up the race lead, 50 laps to go. Here comes the 17.
And a good rebound for Cory Day, despite the damage. You see some of that bare bond on the right front. The last run, he said he was a little limited in the right rear, just helping turn down. But this run, he's actually been quiet, again, despite that damage. So looking for no major adjustments on the 17 machine of Cory Day as he stops in his box for service.
So Cory Day gets the pit stop. We're watching Taylor Gray, who has cycled up to 3rd now in the running order, but will be the race leader. And we just got confirmation when the 20 of Brandon Jones came down. Uncontrolled tire. We've been celebrating this team all night long. They have been outstanding all year, but a miscue here on a green flag stop in the final stage of the race.
I saw this as we were showing his stop. The tire rolls away from the car here on the right side. I wondered if NASCAR would call this. So as you see, he's in his pit stall. And see this tire right there just start to roll out into pit road. The crew member grabs it, but that's too far. That's an uncontrolled tire.
That's heartbreak. Maybe the best car all night long, but his teammate and Jason Ratcliffe have made the call of the race so far, put that car in the right position.
Gray is third. Ryan Sieg, Jeb Burton, you see it in the bumper, first and second. They are yet to make their pit stops in the green flag cycle. Last time Sieg was in, lap 103. Jeb Burton last made a stop at lap 97, and Gray has now made his way around Jeb Burton and up to second in the running order. But of course, Jeb Burton going to have to make a pit stop anyway.
Well, we talked about the difference, pitting early, it was almost 2 seconds a lap at the initial. Right now, Creed's running about 2/10 a lap.
Oh! Ryan Sieg was trying to get on the pit road. Lost it.
He might be okay, though. He's got it going.
Able to hang on to it, no caution. He gives up the top spot, has it get away from him coming down the pit lane, so it all cycles back now. Taylor Gray in charge of the field in front of Jeb Burton, who still needs to pit. Creed, Love, and Allgaier complete the top 5. And as Gray runs around out front, teammate Brandon Jones, the pass-through penalty, paying his debt to NASCAR for the uncontrolled tire when he made his green flag pit stop. What an entertaining race it's been tonight here at Kansas. And it hasn't stopped in the final stage. Ryan Sieg getting sideways, coming down. And pit crews doing their work in a green flag cycle of stops. Taylor Gray in charge in the Heartland with 46 to go. .41 laps to go at Kansas for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. We look at our Mobile One leaderboard. Taylor Gray, great call by crew chief Jason Ratcliffe to get him on point in the cycle of green flag stops. He's in front of Creed, who led when the cycle began. Allgaier is third, Jesse Love is fourth, and William Byron completes the top 5.
Taylor's doing a great job maintaining that lead as well. It's Creed's been a little quicker here and there, and then every once in a while Gray will answer. It's a 3-second gap that you have right now. But the one thing, you know, Parker and I were discussing here is when Byron stayed out earlier, he maintained for a while. But after they got 25 or 30 laps in their tires, that's when you really saw the difference. So Creed needs to hold what he has here and hope that, you know, if we don't get a caution, that as we get more laps on our tires, that he'll be able to make up that difference.
And we went later in that run, we saw the wall come into effect where you really run right on the wall. We saw William Byron using that to great effect. Who we're on board with right here, Sheldon Creed, he's one of the best in this series at running the wall. So as we get later in this run, if that starts to become an option, I expect him to utilize, as he's starting to flirt with it now. Right there, he's on the wall, but he's still using that diamond line and turning down. As the tires continue to wear, that wall becomes more of an option. We'll see if he uses it.
I thought you almost teed that up perfectly.
I was like, I almost
grabbed you like it's happening,
thank you, Sheldon.
Right now.
You're making me look so smart.
Yeah. Hear him have to roll out of the throttle just a little bit there. It's almost like all those guys are still tight on exit, just not able to roll around all the way up top.
I tell you, that last time around, Allgaier faster than Creed.
Ooh, good lap.
And there's something on the line there too. They're both going for the $100,000 in the dash for cash.
Yeah, and the one thing here, guys, is that lap traffic is going to play a big role in this. If that lap traffic runs the top and your car has to be on the top, that's when you see guys make up a ton of ground. And as they lap deeper into the field, it gets harder and harder to continue to pass.
So Jason Ratcliffe with a masterclass call here to do the short pit to get to the lead with Taylor Gray. Do you think he saw our graphic that showed he only won back in 2003 compared to all his
He was
teammates?
offended.
Yeah. And he was like,
guys.
I'll show you guys.
Yeah,
Watch
that's
this.
right.
Pit, Taylor, pit.
You look at Joe Gibbs Racing, and Jason has been such a big part of the success over there at all the racetracks where they have been able to get it done in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. But just in recent history, Joe Gibbs Racing has won 14 of the last 19 here, 3 in a row with 3 different drivers. Whatever it is about Kansas, when they come here, they just elevate their game. And doing it tonight, on the backside of the start of this season where things have not always gone so well. I mean, William Sawalich gets his first career win at Rockingham, but across the board, they just have not been where they want to be. Taylor Gray's been consistent, but not a bunch of runs inside the top 5. And now you look at how they got where they are, and it was all about that pit call. He was 3rd when the cycle began. They pitted 143. You see where everyone else is. You get those tires at equal speed, and that's why he's out front.
Yeah, I mean, we referenced it. You see 3 laps difference between Taylor Gray and Sheldon Creed, but at that point in the race, it was 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds a lap. Taylor was about 2 seconds behind. He came out 4 to 5 seconds in the lead, and now there's just not that same difference on the tires. So great call. See how this plays when it runs out. Adam, you referenced a little bit ago, though, the 7 car of Justin Allgaier. And I was curious to see where he was running on the racetrack, and he seems to have migrated towards that high line, turning down just a little on exit as we get a look at our top 3 here. Justin slowly making up 2 to 3 tenths a lap. He was 6.5 seconds back.
Yeah, it's now maybe going to go inside of 5 seconds here with what he's doing. Very impressive for Allgaier.
And you're going to want that information if you're Taylor Gray or Sheldon Creed of, look, you know, the 7 is starting to catch you. What line is he running? I saw the 54 a few laps ago get stuck behind the 02 and have to run a couple of corners, and it's 0.5 second a lap, and you get 4 or 5 of those in a row. As you see again right here, he's catching Jeremy Clements. Jeremy's running the line that he wants to run. Even though Taylor's going to get to the inside of him, that's going to cost some lap time.
Hey, by the way, Cory Day, who was involved in the accident, looked like he might be back in the game. He'd worked his way to the top 10. We knew they were down a set of tires, had to make another unscheduled stop because they had a tire going down. Tough break for the 17. Going to end his run of 8 consecutive top 10 finishes. Came in top 5 in points.
And before we had that green flag stop, that was the longest green flag run of the night. And, you know, we're kind of in uncharted territory for this race with how many cautions we had in those first 2 stages to knowing what cars are really the best on the long run. And I kind of think of these sorts of runs in 10-lap phases, especially with the amount of fall off we're seeing in these tires here at Kansas. We'll get more indications of who has the better car almost every 10 laps or so as we go through this run. And so that's where I think Justin Allgaier's been really fast now, but we'll see if he's able to continue that. It could even get greater in terms of his speed difference to the leaders as we go through these 10-lap phases.
And you look, the bumper across the bottom, I mean, it's down to 4.3 seconds now. It is
flying.
I mean, there's 30 laps to go. There's more than enough time if he keeps at this pace. If he can maintain that, it's going to be all about how Taylor and Sheldon Creed are able to get through the lap traffic.
And Gray is lapped up to 12th. Won't be long. I mean, one of the guys he could see is his teammate Brandon Jones. And, you know, Brandon, no doubt, is going to do everything he can to hang on to the lead lap because he wants a caution to get himself back into the game. And all these guys up here have a set of tires. So if we were to get a caution, there's no doubt they would come back down, reset, and we'd have a big restart. We're going to take you back through the field. 29 laps to go. Taylor Gray is leading this thing. We begin our coverage with Dylan Welch.
But it's interesting looking back on the notes on this 54 that I had from Kansas last fall. Jason Ratcliffe told me, we're good enough to win, but know the track will be different and that we've got to keep up with it. Well, that's pretty appropriate for what they've had to do tonight as well. We didn't practice, but we told you how confident they were coming into this weekend. Knew there was going to be some challenges with the racetrack, but after running 6th last fall and being in the hunt to win at Las Vegas, they knew that they were going to be able to do exactly what they're doing tonight. They've had the car. We've told you about the pit crew strategy, the pit strategy that Jason Ratcliffe played. Now the question is just going to be, will those extra 3 laps on tires make a difference at the end as he tries to hold off Sheldon Creed in second, Kim?
Yeah, you mentioned Sheldon Creed running in that second position, and we talked at the top of the broadcast way back earlier this afternoon how he's moved into the second position in the point standings. And when I talked to crew chief Jonathan Tony, I asked kind of, what is the big picture here? What are they looking to do with the good start to the season they've had? And he said, we just want to keep the momentum. We're looking and aiming for 40-point days where they're on track for that or better here this afternoon. And he also said, look, Justin Allgaier and the 17 have set the bar, and now it's our job to meet it. We're trying to elevate everything we can. We've seen that tonight with Sheldon Creed currently running in P2, Dylan.
And it speaks to maybe how good the 7 team is right now, that 3rd place, if that's where they end up today, might be considered a little bit disappointing, but it has been another fantastic showing, all things considered. 2nd most stage points and in position to go for their 7th straight top 5 finish this year. The balance got away from them, it seemed like, a little bit earlier tonight, but the long run, as always, it seems like is a strength for them tonight. He's closed in a little bit on the 0-0, and I think lap traffic, Kim, should help tighten that battle up for second even more. Actually, we'll stay with Jesse Love here, who runs in the 4th spot. They are another team. We told you about Austin Hill, the RCR teammate that has just had a tough last month or so. They're another team that's had 4 straight out of the top 10. But Danny Stockman said that's not as bad as things maybe actually are. Last week, they admit they weren't really all that good at Bristol. Rockingham, they felt like they could have won. Martinsville, they just had some contact at the end that sent them down the leaderboard. So certainly some things to clean up, but just been one of those tough stretches. Right now, they're coaching him to just run that cut down line, especially through 3 and 4 like the 54 car has been doing. They've been working on that all night on the 2 car. Kim.
And for William Byron running in the 5th position, that 88 car, that team maybe going to be a little bit slightly disappointed with their night. Remember, he had an early incident, got in the fence early as well as another car, and just it's been a battle managing what they need out of the handling of that race car all night long. But Marty Lindley told me coming into this race, look, we were not good here last year despite Connor Zilic finishing second, and he was hoping that Williams Cup laps earlier in practice today might help them, even though the cars are different, because the rest of this field did not have practice yesterday. But again, Byron running in the 5th position. As we go to the 6th position, Brent Cruz, again, a standout for that young rookie. And look, JTR has been so good here. Their expectations were very high, despite Brent making his first appearance on a track bigger than a mile. And look, Seth Kochak told me we're averaging 31 points per race. Their goal is 30, but they feel like they've had cars and the driver capable of 40-point days every weekend that's Brent has been in the car. Their goal outside of a race win to make the chase. They feel like they're on target for that.
Right now he's showing 16th in the standings, 65 below the playoff cut line, the chase cut line. Talking about Brent Cruz. Right behind him on track, right of your screen, Sam Mayer is 7th. Cole Custer is 8th in the 0 right now. The man that won the championship in 2023 has seen a little bit of everything tonight, but finds himself in the top 10 late in this race.
And at the front of this field, it is condensing. Sheldon Creed has been catching Taylor Gray, as we had great information from Dylan and Kim through the field. As Brent Cruz side drafts here of William Byron. Down into 3, clears him.
Slow one up top.
Well, he's checking every box tonight. So impressive for Brent Cruz.
Think about last week. He's racing for the win with Connor Zilich and Kyle Larson, and this week racing for a top 5 position with William Byron. So impressive.
You know, if he had done this after getting practice yesterday,
yeah,
I maybe wouldn't have been surprised, but to do this and have not been on this racetrack until we went green today, pretty remarkable. Josh Balicki serving is a pick, the lap car. Cruz able to complete the pass. 19 is now in 5th.
I was just getting ready to say, if you're a Taylor Gray fan, I've got good news. And then they crossed the start-finish line, and I changed my mind. It had slowed down a little bit, where you see Sheldon Creed right there coming off turn 2. It's the next car behind Taylor Gray, and then Allgaier, there's one lap car in between them. It had finally started to slow down, and then Allgaier just came across 1/10 and a half, 2/10 quicker than those guys. It's almost like Creed's going to catch Gray, and Allgaier's going to catch Creed, all within a 5-lap period. And we're going to have a heck of a battle for the win.
That sounds like a good time. Sign me up.
I'm here for it. Well, this race has had everything else tonight, so just throw in an epic finish, huh? 19 to go. Here's Gray. And there you see the visual. Creed and Allgaier, 2nd and 3rd.
And Gray's just a few laps from catching 5 or 6. There's a big group of cars at the start-finish line right now. You see he's exiting 4. So he's going to have his work cut out for him as he catches those cars. Still have 18 laps to go, and that's going to be the difference if he can get through that, because they're running too wide in front of him.
And for Taylor, this is the position you're put in when you have that short pit, where you eventually get to the opposite side of your tires being worse than those cars are trying to catch you, and you have to just lock in and try to just be so disciplined with your laps. Pressure from the front, not pay attention to the mirror and how they're catching you. Focus on just maximizing lap time at this point, because inevitably they're probably going to catch you with the lesser laps on tires.
There's what you're talking about. Next car he will see is Ryan Sieg, who is 11th, and the last car on the lead lap. Dean Thompson up there in front of him as well. He's in the top 10. Also on the lead lap, Dean having a great night. And as I said earlier, I mean, you just want to fight to stay on that lead lap, because you know if the caution comes out with so few cars on the lead lap, it breathes life right back into your organization.
And if I'm Taylor Gray, I'm watching those cars in front of me, and what's making me nervous is that there's some running the top, and they're racing. They're running too wide. You watch as they enter the corner. It's not like there's a free lane or a clear lane. You see Raja's right up against the wall. There's some through the middle. There's some guys running the bottom, and that, you get 2 or 3 laps with those guys continuing to race the way they are, that's going to suck in Creed and Allgaier into this race.
Sieg gets around Dean Thompson for 10th. As I said, they're the last 2 on the lead lap. Going to be 15 laps to go this time around. And that delta right at a 2.5 seconds, Gray in front of Creed.
Yeah, Gray wants those guys to get it settled. It looks like they have here. He might have a free lane here on the bottom. Chooses to run up through the middle. You see Raja right in front of him. He's going to turn down the hill. See if he can get that run. That last lap, though, another 3/10 slower than Allgaier. That gap is down to 2.3 seconds. It's going to be close.
And here's the other thing. Creed and Allgaier racing for the $100,000. So even if you can't get up there and get to Gray for the win tonight, you want to make sure you get that 2nd spot and take home the paycheck. 14 to go.
And Taylor lost a massive amount of time right there on that
second.
Lap.
Wow.
Half a second. Wow.
Half second, that one lap. And Raja didn't really even race him that hard. It was just that he had to turn down the hill and took away that preferred line. It kills your momentum all the way down the straightaway. Oh my gosh, that's getting so close right now.
Well, hey, we talk about great finishes, and then I think about Sheldon Creed and his one career victory and the way he did it at Atlanta. He knows all about the drama on the last lap.
Well, we talked about it was a half second. He's only 1 second back. Creed is right now. And honestly, the best thing that can happen for Allgaier is for these 2 guys to start racing. They get side by side, because it'll just take a lap or 2 to suck Justin in, who's only 1.8 seconds back right now.
I mean, Justin was over 6 seconds back when we began this run after the green flag pit stops, and now it's under 2 seconds, 1.6. This is incredible. The rally for Allgaier, the rally for Creed, and Gray trying to hold him off. 12 laps to go, this time by.
And what's super interesting is when Creed gets there, they're running the same lines, essentially, all three of these leaders. So he's gonna have to do something different to make that pass. It's been the discussion all night. How do you make the pass when they're in the preferred lane? You just got to find a way to gather momentum, but he's absolutely getting there.
Yeah, and finally a little relief that last lap. Taylor Gray was actually able to run a little quicker than Sheldon Creed. We see both of them have basically the line they want to run, clean air. There's one lap down car in between, but I don't think that's going to affect Sheldon too much right here. Might even get a little draft off Dean Thompson. Look at the lap time as they cross the start finish line. Broke even right there. So Taylor, nice job right there. Able to maintain that lap time. The next car, though, I see is in his lane, is up right against the wall. Gonna have to work a little harder on this one.
Hey, think about this. In the last 11 races, dating to last year at Martinsville, we've had 3 first-time winners. 2 of them running 1-2 tonight. Taylor Gray, who won that race last year in Southern Virginia. Sheldon Creed, who got his first career victory earlier this season at Atlanta. They're first and second, separated by 1 second with 10 laps to go. And here's that Atlanta finish that was absolutely epic. Second race of the year. Ross Chastain driving at 32, got into Austin Hill. The seas parted, and here comes Sheldon to get his first checkered flag in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
And a very popular win amongst everyone in this series. So many crew members and drivers there to congratulate him for how many times he'd finished second. 15 times. He finally got that first victory, and now has got that gap under a second, and crucially also got away from Allgaier by about a 10th or 2, so he can focus on just trying to catch Taylor.
And this is a huge pass right here. He's got to get by this lap car immediately.
That's Brennan Poole making his 200th career start tonight, running 19th, and Gray can't get by.
Brennan's going to make it difficult because he's running that very top line. Taylor's going to have to sail it off in here and see if he can clear him, but he can't. This is huge right here. Creed is going to have lots of momentum. That's a tough pass. I don't know if the 54 car can do that.
But he lost his momentum, and once he did, he just is stuck below Brennan Poole there. He's sliding right now. They have a lot of laps on these tires, doesn't quite have the grip. He's got to gather it back up and make another run at it to get the momentum as he turns down off of 2 here.
But Brennan's got a good exit by running that top line. See what it does here. Can he clear him?
You know, Gray's on the radio yelling to the spotter,
Screaming at
get him out of my way. Gray is all clear. Let's listen to the radio.
Stay locked in here. We're trying to get some help.
Yeah. Adam said you were crew chief and spot, Adam, all in one night. Unbelievable job.
Hey, 7 laps to go. Gray gets by Poole. He's clear. Here comes Creed trying to do the same. Boy, he's closed up on him. What a finish it's going to be. Allgaier coming as well. This is outstanding stuff.
And you got to complete this down into 3 if you're Sheldon Creed.
And he
right
will.
Now. Yeah,
100% Creed will sail it off in here.
Right there. There's the clear.
This reminds me so much of the 1.5 miles at Texas a couple of years ago when you had Sam Mayer and Ryan Sieg, and Ryan's trying to close the deal and Mayer wouldn't go away, and we had that photo finish. We go to Texas in a couple of weeks. Maybe the 1.5 miles at Kansas will deliver. We've had some great finishes here over the years. 5.5 laps remaining for Taylor Gray.
Can't help but think about Vegas and those 2 guys with Taylor Gray and Creed. Creed ended up getting into the back of Taylor Gray, maybe cost him at a shot for the win. And they're going to have another battle here for the win at Kansas.
And what I see out of Sheldon there is he's able to turn that car and exit lower off the corners than Taylor Gray. That's just where the speed is coming from that's allowing him to catch him. He's able to get clean air to that nose quicker at times as he turns down the racetrack. You see it's pointed a little bit better. That's giving him a little better exit. Small wiggle there, but he's got to use that to his advantage. And when he gets there, utilize that momentum to get by him.
This is all going to come down to lap traffic. These 2 going head-to-head on clean track. I don't think Sheldon has a good enough car to pass him.
I don't
but
know,
as you look at those lap cars in front, it only takes one, little bit of a momentum loss right here for Creed to get beside him. And those guys are running the line that they want to run. You see Taylor's trying to turn down, get pointed. Oh, Sheldon struggling for grip right there.
He used so much racetrack right there and actually lost just a little bit to Taylor.
I think that's LeVar Scott right now in front of Taylor Gray.
Yeah, LeVar
went to the bottom.
Scored in the 18th position. Going to be 3 laps to go as we come off of turn 4 this time. Trying to get around that 45.
Now LeVar gets out of the way. Great move right there. Sheldon would have lost all those momentum now. Sheldon's got to try something different if he's going to be able to get up beside him, whether it's running the wall all the way around. He tried to run the bottom that last lap, which I think it was a little bit of a desperation move because he knew that he wasn't going to catch him doing the same thing over and over again. Let's see how he reacts here.
That 4 last lap passes. This last time it happened, July of 2020. Brandon Jones won for Joe Gibbs Racing in that race. Taylor Gray trying to finish the deal for the coach tonight. 2 to go. He's got a half a second lead over Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, I've been surprised Creed hasn't tried something like running the wall like you mentioned because he just isn't quite getting there. Oh, there's a bit of a lap traffic. It didn't quite check up Taylor Gray, and Creed actually lost a little bit of time in those last 2 corners.
Well, Taylor's done an exceptional job of keeping his composure with all this lap traffic, not trying to force the issue. Obviously doesn't have the quickest car on the track because of the tire deficit, but an awesome job so far.
And there's the white flag, sponsored by Credit One Bank for what's ahead. One more time around for Taylor Gray. Oh, the stress.
Look, he's on the wall. He's doing it.
The stress, the anxiety of trying to hang on for a victory.
Oh, it's so
Sheldon
awesome.
Creed giving it all he's got. Down the back straightaway. Turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Some lap cars ahead, but they shouldn't play a role. Taylor Gray off of 4, back to the start-finish line. He gets his 2nd career victory at Kansas Speedway.
That man right there made an excellent call.
Hey, it's a team effort. Team effort by Team 54.
You are the man!
We agree.
2 career wins for Taylor Gray and 2 wins at Kansas atop the pit box for Jason Ratcliffe. 2003 with David Green and tonight with Taylor.
And back-to-back wins for the 54 car in the Cup Series last week.
There you go.
That's
right.
The Rally Series.
And we saw Grandpa Coach down there celebrating with his team. Denny Hamlin will start on the front row here tomorrow.
Brent Cruz with a top 5 in his first mile and a half. As impressive.
Sheldon Creed comes up short on winning the race, but 2nd place good enough to net him the $100,000 in the Dash for Cash. But he wanted the big trophy, and tonight that's reserved for Taylor Gray. Bit of a slow start to 2026 for this 2nd-year driver from New Mexico, but he showed what he's got here tonight, finishing the deal in front of some really good ones. He gets the win. 3 champions inside the top 6, Allgaier, Love, and William Byron.
And he truly burnt it down right there. Nothing left for those rear tires.
How about Joe Gibbs Racing at Kansas? They've won 15 of the last 20 here, and 4 in a row with 4 different drivers. John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Almirola, Brandon Jones, and this guy, Taylor Gray. You know, he's been flirting around that chase cut line. You don't want to flirt with that. You want to have a cushion. And tonight he takes a jump and all the points that come with this win. Talking about the success of Jason Ratcliffe. Tonight, his 60th win atop the pit box in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, best all time.
He's so excited he's not getting off the car.
I don't think I've seen him that excited ever.
So he's going to celebrate with the fans here and get that checkered flag, and then he'll drive it over to Mobil 1 victory lane. hear from Sheldon Creed. Down to Kim.
Yeah, Sheldon Creed started this race with a number of challenges. You had a quick helmet swap before the green. You had to drop to the tail of the field, but you come up runner-up. As you look at the closing laps, what more did you need to best Taylor Gray?
Oh, I don't know. I was kind of trying everything. I hit the bottom there with, I don't know, a few to go, and I thought that might have been somewhere I could get him. Yeah, and then we just kind of caught lappers, and they were kind of filling the bottom there every time I wanted to go and try to run it. But yeah, a great day for us after starting in the back, and I kind of knew right away my car was really fast, and yeah, I was able to drive to the front and just had a lot of fun today in my Road Ranger Chevrolet, and just appreciate everyone that's supporting us this year. Hendrick Engines have been awesome. Appreciate Gene Haas and Haas Automation, Joe Custer. Just, yeah, everyone that's been supporting us. It's been a really good start to our season. It's been a lot of fun on track. Fast cars are fun to drive.
And you don't walk away empty-handed. You got the $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus. What does that mean? And what kind of statement does that make, just what this team is capable of?
Yeah, I mean, awesome. I feel like we're, just working really good together right now. And just going in tonight, you're racing the 1, the 7, and the 19 for it. I knew it was going to be tough, but, just really cool to be able to bring $100,000 back home to the Haas Factory team. And just going to keep working hard and try to keep clicking off these finishes. I definitely wanted to win and add to it, but yeah, the 54 team they did a really good job short and pitting us, and he just ran a really good 40 laps there and got through traffic quick and made it to where I never really got close enough.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sheldon Creed comes home with his 7th straight top 10 finish this season, his 4th straight top 5 finish here at Kansas.
I think this, if you told him you're starting in the back, you're going to finish second and win $100,000, I think you would have taken that, right?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to finish second, but when they bring you a $100,000
Right,
check, you're like, that stings a little bit less.
Yeah. And that 16th runner-up, much easier to swallow when you know that you've been to victory lane. Now our Mobile One winning moment. Jason Ratcliffe made the call. 54 team executed. Taylor Gray did his job, and once given the track position, he took care of business.
And there's a lot that adds up to that, right? It's getting on pit road correctly on old tires. The pit crew nailed the stop, and then once you get back on track on new tires, getting through traffic effectively, making sure you don't lose any time on those newer tires to gain on the leaders. He did that, and then was super disciplined when he was getting run down by Creed and Allgaier. Did not make a mistake, held on to it.
Yeah, and I mean, clearly Ratcliffe needs the credit for making the winning call, but Taylor shouldn't sell himself short. He did an awesome job of managing all that traffic at the end, able to get through, and as you said, managing tires perfectly.
He'll be eligible for the $100,000 in the Dash for Cash next Saturday at Talladega Superspeedway. One of the real crown jewel races on the O'Reilly Auto Parts schedule. You'll watch it Saturday afternoon on CW. Can't wait for it.
I never really got close enough.
Congratulations.
I saw Jason Ratcliffe walking there with the coach. I mean, that dude's been doing it a long time. He looks the same as he always has. Let's go down to Mobile One Victory Lane. Here's Dylan.
A lot of excitement down here for these guys. It has not been the start to the year. No doubt that the 54 team has won it. You see your teammates running well, running better every week, and you guys are trying to get there. How big is it to put together the last 3 weeks you guys have and cap that off with this performance tonight?
Yeah, first of all, thank you to everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing, Twitter Racing, Operation 300, and how about Jason Ratcliffe, man? That big call was awesome. I knew we had a car capable of winning. I thought the 20 was a little better than us in stage 2, or yes, before the green flag cycle, sorry. But knew just had to stay locked in, right? And needed to be a little bit freer. Jason made a really good adjustment on the car, a really good pit call, and got us that clean air. So yeah, I can't thank everybody enough. But yeah, it's been a long start to the year, man. Not that we're not bringing speed to the racetrack, it's just things haven't really gone our way. So it's nice to finally be able to close one out.
What was the toughest part of those closing laps? A lot of things you kind of had to balance, it seems like.
Yeah, I knew the 00 was starting to catch me. I started to get a little snug trying to turn down the hill, and seemed like he was on the freer side. I just knew I had to navigate lap traffic better than he could and get him to heat up his rears to try to catch me. So,
and I think he ended up, getting the wall there towards the end. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun race. It was, it's good to be here.
Well done. Taylor Gray back in victory lane. He's the winner at Kansas.
Winning cures a lot of things. We talked about it. Dylan referenced it there. Not the start to 2026 that this team had hoped for. But in race 10, he's able to get his first victory of the campaign and did it in style, working the lap traffic, holding off Creed and Allgaier. And it's the 54 celebrating tonight at Kansas Speedway. The coach has done it again.